Last year, Idaho beat Southern Mississippi. Everyone thought that was an upset. I think they'll prove that both of these teams can match up. And let's look at this. Louisville hasn't stopped many people either. And I think old linebackers Bud Herring and Michael Brown will be very busy stopping Boise State.
Anytime I think about the Louisville defense, I think about that game against Army, in which fullback up the middle killed them all night. But that Louisville offense can certainly get it done. And you know, we've had defensive-minded games. If things don't change with Louisville and Boise State in this one, we may see defense through the whole bowl week. Get back out to Boise in a bit.
For your holiday decorations in Rubbermaid totes from Menards. This tote is on sale, just $4. A clear tote is only $8. This huge 50-gallon tote, $15. Store holiday decorations on Plano shelving. Easy to assemble. This 5-shelf unit holds up to 500 pounds, $24.99. This heavy-duty model holds up to 1,000 pounds, $29.99. Plus, save 10% on everything, even sale prices when you use your Menards Big Card.
Save big money at Menards.
Chicagoland drivers buy their automobile insurance from Lincoln Insurance for many good reasons.
Here at Lincoln, I received a multiple car discount and a 4-door discount, too.
When I had an accident, my car was repaired in 10 days with a lifetime warranty as long as I own my car.
I've been a Lincoln customer for 10 years, and every year I get great service and the lowest rates available.
Join thousands of satisfied customers and call Lincoln Insurance today.
Your color on your set, that is a blue field. It is the famous blue field of Bronco Stadium in Boise, Idaho, Louisville, and Boise State in the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Well, Boise State season began under the cloud of tragic adversity, as Mike Gleason reports from the Boise State locker room.
Wayne, not only do the Broncos want to cap off an undefeated season at home, but a major reason they want to win this football game is right here on the wall. This is Paul Raynham, a young freshman out of the Los Angeles area, whose career at Boise State was short-lived. During August scrimmages, he fell on the field, suffered head injuries, and after spending 5 days in a hospital, lost his life. The Broncos have dedicated this entire season to Paul Raynham. This plaque right here travels with the team on the road, and for home games, it hangs right here on the wall. And before taking the field, each and every player touches this plaque in memory and honor of Paul Raynham. Wayne, just another motivating factor to the Broncos.
Thank you very much, Mike. Weather conditions, 23 degrees here in the valley. You're looking at the beautiful foothills. There's some good skiing up in those hills, I want to tell you. But there's a look at the situation. Overcast skies, a little foggy at times here. Winds about 5 miles an hour. Louisville won the toss and will receive. Louisville in the white jerseys and Boise State in the home blue. And we're just about set for action. Zeke Parker averaged 24 yards per return with 2 returns for touchdowns this season. Brett Thompson will kick it away. And we're underway. Parker into traffic across the 25-yard line. It'll be first down just across the 25 for the Louisville Cardinals. Let's take a look at the lineups for you. And for the Louisville offense, Frank Moreau, a 1,000-yard rusher, an incredible 17 rushing touchdowns this season. The tight end, Ivan Green, played football with Chris Redman since the 8th grade. This is their last game together. Offensive tackle, Anthony Bird, the Cardinals' best offensive lineman, a co-captain and first team All-Conference USA. The officiating crew from the Big 12. Steve Usek is the man we'll be hearing from on any kind of penalties or transgressions. Hopefully won't hear from him a whole lot. 3 receivers set to start, and they go to Frank Moreau. Breaks 1 tackle, but not the other. Johnson wraps him up with help from Malloy. Boise State defense and Mike Malloy, a defensive end. His motor never stops. Leads the defensive line in tackles. The linebacker, Brian Johnson, leader of the Bronco defense, suffered a leg injury in practice Tuesday, but is set to go today. Quarterback Dempsey Dees, the best pure covered corner on the Bronco squad. He will handle Arnold Jackson here today. That should be a great matchup to watch. Second down, about 9. Out of the shotgun, and Redman. Ivan Green slips a defender to get the first down out to the 38-yard line, just short of the 40. Green Williams made the stop on the play for Boise State.
Wayne, if you're Boise State's defense, you have faced offenses like this in formation and style, but you've never faced one that's had the skilled athletes that Louisville has. They'll spread them out, puts a lot of pressure on that secondary and those linebackers to stay with this talent man for man.
Well, that's what defensive coordinator Brett Guy told us in Boise State. We haven't seen this kind of a package. Zeke Parker, great speed, led this team in yards per catch a year ago, but his explosiveness was demonstrated on special teams this season. Very little gain there. Second down coming up for Louisville.
Nice job there by Damian Schilling coming up and making the sure tackle. When you spread a defense out and you play with 4 or 5 wide receivers, you have to be sure tacklers on defense because the missed tackle can turn into a big play.
Louisville with trips to the top of your screen on 2nd and 9. Moreau, running room across the midfield marker, and Frank Moreau rambles inside the 45 on a 19-yard gain. Damian Schilling made the stop.
What a nice run by Frank Moreau coming right at you here. You see his lineman pull out, and the Boise State defense just over-pursue, and Moreau cuts it back up. There you see some of the reasons why he's gained almost 1,300 yards on the ground this year.
So does first down Louisville on the opening drive of the game. 5 wide receivers set for the Cardinals. Penalty marker down for offsides. Quick toss on the slant. In the seam, this is Lavelle Boyd. He's down to about the 25-yard line. Ball came loose. Play had been whistled dead. Penalty marker down. It looked like one of the defensive backs had jumped into the neutral zone for Boise State. 17-yard gain on that play. Offsides, the call against the Broncos.
This is typical of this Louisville offense. They make a lot of big plays through the air, but they're not necessarily...
On defense, penalty decline, first down.
When they're not necessarily long passes in the air. They're shorter passes, and these receivers, Lavelle Boyd, Arnold Jackson, Zeke Parker, and Ivan Green, they turn them into big plays.
John L. Smith rarely lost to Boise State in his time out in this area. Not a whole lot there. There's Louisville. Picks up short yardage on that particular carry. Frank Moreau on the thrust into the left side of the line. Gain of 2. And there is Dirk Cutter. Both coaches hail from Boise. Or not Boise, but the Idaho natives. Redman over the top. Going for Jackson and a pass off the barn. Schilling that time had the coverage on A.J. And that is Arnold Jackson.
When you saw Louisville that time go with a no-huddle offense, trying to come up to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball before Boise State could set their defense. Boise State's defensive coordinator, Brent Guy, told us he signals in. His defense does not huddle, never huddles. They signal it in. Everybody's responsible for looking over to the sideline to call the defense, so the no-huddle offense shouldn't affect that.
There's Brent Guy right there. Third down, 3rd and about 8. Redman has time. And the pass under shot is intended receivers, so the Boise State defense has held. Pass intended for Lavelle Boyd at the 20-yard line.
Pretty good coverage that time by this Boise State secondary as Redman had plenty of time to view the field, found nobody was open, then just threw the ball away.
John Hilbert, 40-yard field goal attempt to get Louisville on the board. Bothered by a groin injury late in the season. Healthy now and had a good week of kicking out here. And he's got it on its way. It looks like it's right on target, and it is good. Louisville drives to a field goal to open the ball game. They lead Humanitarian Bowl 3-0.
At Circuit City's New Year's sale with hundreds of markdowns throughout the store. All TVs 32 inches and larger, camcorders and appliances are on sale. All home audio loudspeakers, car audio, and mini systems are on sale too. Our knowledgeable sales counselors can answer all your questions and help you find just what you're looking for. Save throughout the store at Circuit City's New Year's sale. Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods. Now Centrum has the only leading multivitamins with lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 1999 Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl is presented by Crucial Technology, proud sponsor of the 1999 Humanitarian Bowl, and in part by Ramada. At Ramada, you can always expect our personal best service.
Wayne Larrivee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason, great to have you back on this holiday week for the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Louisville out in front by the score of 3-0. Chris Redman on his opening drive of the postseason, 2 of 4 passing for 27 yards. And you get a look at the 9-play, 50-yard scoring drive, and John Hilbert with the field goal to put the visitors from Louisville, Kentucky on the board first. Here's the kickoff by Hilbert. And this one through the end zone and on a play. It'll be first down for Boise State. And the football will be out at the 20-yard line. Boise State offense, Davey Malathon, Broncos' leading rusher, is a physical back who played well down the stretch. The wide receiver, Lou Fanucci, a redshirt freshman, emerged as a playmaker late in the season. The offensive guard, Jeremy Mankins, is Boise State's best lineman and excellent run blocker. But these two teams make their yards and points for the most part through the air. Bart Hendricks, the junior out of Reno, Nevada, an athlete, a movement guy, good feet, and they will move the pocket for him as well here. Slot to the top of your screen, Malathon the lone back. Davey Malathon trying to bounce it to the outside. Brown chased him out of the far side, but really the play was made by Courtney Dinkins, who forced it deep initially. Take a look at the Louisville defense. Up front, Mike Gantos, first-team all-conference selection. The bandit linebacker is Michael Brown, best athlete on the Cardinal defense. And the quarterback, Rashad Holman, top covered corner for Louisville. He played with Chris Redman and Ivan Green of Mayo High School in Louisville. Second down, about 8 yards to go. Hendricks first pass. Wide open, Swilly. Jay Swilly out to the 46-yard line. Corey Wallace made the stop, 24-yard gain.
Nice job by Bart Hendricks, dropping back, reading the coverage, and getting rid of the ball quickly. In a zone, you've got to get the ball to the receivers before he gets to the safeties. Nice job. Jay Swilly making that reception. He's been the most productive receiver as the season wound down for the Broncos.
Yeah, he's their best receiver right now, according to the coaches. On the carry, Brock Forsey, who has had an excellent week of practice in preparation for this game. Forsey, a redshirt freshman from Meridian, Idaho, picks up a few yards across the midfield marker, and Boise State is now in enemy territory, so to speak.
Dirk Cutter told us that he just kind of has a feel for these backs. They've had 4 different running backs lead their team in rushing for a game, and now you'll see Brock Forsey, Gavin Reed, Davey Malathon. Those 3 will rotate today. Whoever's got the hot hand will play the most.
Forsey, the tail of the tandem, and the offset eye. Second down. Hendricks under immediate pressure. Hendricks now hit from behind, and down it goes. Donovan Arp arrived on the scene and made the hit. He may have gotten a yard or 2 inside the 48-yard line, and it'll be third down coming up for Boise State. But again, Randy, you see there evidence of the quick feet of Bart Hendricks. Penalty marker down, and face mask to call against Louisville.
And that takes a nice play by the Louisville defense and turns it into a very negative play. Quick pressure back on Bart Hendricks. And this is what the coaches like about him. They can't really explain it. It's that quick escapability. Just the one step up, and there's It's hard to see the face mask there, but there you see the flag come in, and then as it was a personal foul, tacking 15 yards onto the end of that.
So now the Broncos will set up shop at the 32-yard line of the Cardinals.
You saw Donovan Art back there, number 79. The 2 tackles for Louisville. Donovan Art, 79. Mike Anto, 74. The defense plays the way those 2 linemen play.
Double tight ends on the line. Forsey cuts it back inside the 30. Good, hard, decisive run by Forsey down to the 27-yard line. Here's a look at Brock Forsey. He came on late in the season, 313 yards of rushing offense. He gained 6 on that play.
Forsey's just the freshman, the young back of the 3. Pretty good size, 5'11", 190 pounds, and they think he's just got great potential, good talent. Former walk-on, didn't take him long during the scholarship.
Again, 1 wide receiver set here. That's Finucci at the bottom of your screen. On 2nd down and 4. Penalty markers down. Forsey for very little into the middle of the line. I believe that the Cardinals jumped into the neutral zone. Quick snap on the center, Scott Huff. Helped draw that flag. Offsides the call against the Cardinals. Mike Gleason is with us on the sidelines. Mike, I understand John L. Smith, the head coach at Louisville, is trying to elicit some local support for his team.
That's right. When last year at the Motor City Bowl, about 13,000 Louisville fans went up to the Motor City Bowl in Pontiac, Michigan. Well, John L. Smith, coaching at Idaho, obviously Boise is a little bit farther than Pontiac, Michigan, so they came out here and they took out full-page ads trying to round up Vandal fans. And I asked him, I said, you know, do the Boise fans really dislike you that much? He says, no, they hate me. As a matter of fact, they hate me so much, I wouldn't stand too close to him, right?
All right, Mike. Off that penalty, it's a first down. Off the penalty against Louisville. First down for Boise State. 3-0 Louisville, early going in this first quarter. But Boise State on the drive. Hendricks off play action, under some pressure, steps up to the end zone, off the hands of Mike Davison, incomplete. He appeared to have the coverage, or at least a half step on the coverage of Corey Wallace down the side, along with Anthony Roundtree.
Nice job by Bart Hendricks, though, stepping up in the pocket. He's got a very good feel for when the pressure's coming from the outside. Here you see Mike Davison runs a nice route, sails the post to the inside, cuts back to the outside, and just a little better throw here would have been 6 points.
2nd down and 10. That's Putsier in the slot on the bottom of your screen. They're going on the ground. Gavin Reed made the first man miss, but not the 2nd and 3rd as they stack him up. Very short gain. Otis Floyd, the defensive end, led the way for the Cardinals defense. So it'll be 3rd down coming up for Boise State.
Gavin Reed may be the most talented player on the team, much less on the offense. He's very athletic. He's an excellent special teams player. Runs a 4.4, though he's had a little bit of an inconsistent season. They're hoping he can play with one of his up games today, not one of his down games.
Yeah, he's had some injury problems over the course of the campaign. 3rd down. Long count by Hendricks. May have drawn an offsides again. Hendricks pass for Finucci thrown to the end zone, and another flag thrown in the middle of the defensive secondary. So got 2 flags down, one on the far side. May have been for a violation of the neutral zone by Louisville, and then perhaps a pass interference penalty or hold downfield.
I think you're right, Wayne. I think both of these are going to go against the Cardinals, and Boise State's going to have their choice. Should choose whether it's an interference or a defensive holding. That should be the one that they take. Should give them a first down.
So penalties have aided the Broncos on this drive. And they're going to mark it off against Louisville.
On the defense, it's declined. Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Automatic first down to the 12-yard line of Louisville.
When it's easy to think that because Boise State doesn't run the same style of offense, the 4 and 5 wideouts, that they're not a very spread-out offense. They are. They just get to it different ways.
There's a look at the penalty story I mentioned a moment ago. Single wide receiver now in the ball game, Billy Wingfield. Here comes Brock Forsey inside the 10-yard line to about the 9. Louisville showing that good speed defensively, good lateral speed on their defense. Sexton in on that stop with Rashad Harris, also over there, Antonio Roundtree.
Watch the left side here of the Boise State line. They'll come off and try and steal and give Brock Forsey the corner. Louisville really does a pretty nice job, though, of getting some penetration in the pursuit. It doesn't give Forsey much room to turn that ball up.
Second down, about 7 yards to go. Again, single wide receiver set. Hendricks rolling. A little misdirection, takes it himself inside the 5-yard line to the 4. Touchdown saving tackle made by Michael Brown.
Wayne, the most important thing, watch how quickly Hendricks gets his head around. Right there, he gets it around. He sees the pressure coming from the outside. Now he knows he's got to turn it back up. I don't know how fast he is, but I tell you, I think he's pretty quick. And he has avoided the tackle, which would have been a sack, 3 or 4 times already.
In addition to his quickness, Randy, he has a feel for pressure. You take a look at this drive right here. And again, we mentioned 3 penalties have aided it. Hendricks with a 2 wide receiver set, double tight ends, and this is Gavin Reed, and he is met in the hole and turned back. Donovan Arp on the interior of the defensive front for the Louisville Cardinals. He denies him a first down, which would have been at the 2-yard line, and it becomes a 4th down for Boise State.
Well, as big as that Boise State offensive line is, 4 of their 5 starters over 300 pounds. They have not been able to move that Louisville defensive line off the line of scrimmage, and again, that was a key stop there.
You mentioned Arp and Gantos, the 2 defensive tackles. They really key the up-front 7 defense for Louisville. And now Hendricks needs a timeout. 7 minutes left to be played here in Boise. First quarter, Louisville in the lead, but Boise State threatening.
Boise, a quiet western city? Boise, never a dull moment.
Christmas may have passed, but Santa seems to have left a few sacks behind. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Clemson, Mississippi State at 7:30, Thursday on ESPN.
Bring the action home with ESPN Full Court. With over 450 college basketball games, you'll get to watch your
Head coach of Boise State looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down, about a yard to go for a first down.
A little surprised here, Wayne, that they are going for it. Points are at an optimum today. You've got to be able to get them against this Louisville offense. They're going now. The question, are they going for the first down or trying to get the touchdown?
It is 4th down, about a yard to go from the 3. And split the backfield. A long count by Hendricks. They may be just trying. No, Hendricks is going to take it on an option. He's got the touchdown. Three-yard touchdown run off an option look. Bart Hendricks, and they do a little option as a part of their regular package, Randy. And, of course, with the quick feet of this quarterback and his decision-making ability, not a bad call.
Not at all, and it's a more than just a trinkle of their offense. Bart Hendricks does a nice job running it. When you spread the defense out like they did with their shift, you get people thinking pass. He did a nice job getting it in the end zone.
Nick Kaliakai, redshirt freshman from Kaiser, Oregon, puts through the extra point. And Boise State responds with their opening drive on offense. 6:56 to go first quarter, 7-3 Broncos. Boise State leading 7-3. Bart Hendricks' 3-yard touchdown run to cap an 11-play, 80-yard drive. 3 Cardinal penalties involved in that drive as well. Hendricks 3 of 9 passing.
Nice job, Wayne, calling the option for the first time. It was a play this Louisville defense had not seen yet today.
You should take a look at this play again.
We talked about the defensive line. Look here at the left guard, Willie Van Gorder, how he gets the block on 74, Mike Gantos, to the outside. That allows Hendricks to cut right behind him and get clearly the first down. The touchdown was a blessing.
And easy to see how Bart Hendricks really triggers this offense. I mentioned 3 of 9. 3 carries, 9 yards rushing, 1 of 2 passing. Hendricks huge in that drive for Boise State. Zeke Parker. Parker still on his feet to the outside. Boy, he does have some jets, doesn't he? Over to make the stop on the play, Gavin Reed. He also has some jets. College football bowl game triple header coming up on ESPN. Insight.com Bowl. Colorado Buffaloes, Boston College. Followed by the Axel Liberty Bowl. Colorado State Rams in 14th ranked Southern Mississippi. Southern Miss was here last year. The Sanford Independence Bowl has Mississippi and Oklahoma. The Sooners making their first bowl appearance since 1994. ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. Bart Hendricks, phone home. First play from scrimmage on this drive out to about the 36-yard line. Frank Moreau on the carry. Moreau, 233 rushing attempts. And this is his first full season as a starter. He was an on-again, off-again starter throughout his career. He has 4 carries today and 25 yards.
He came in as a running back, about 240 pounds, and John L. Smith told him only Ron Dane can play that height. You got to get down into the 220s.
Low snap out of the gun. Pass tipped in the air, incomplete. Pass was tipped either by Malloy or by Matt Hill.
When you have a bad snap like we see here, it forces the quarterback to take his eyes off of the coverage. And in a quick rhythm offense like this, that can be devastating. As you saw, it gave the chance for the defensive linemen get some penetration, get their hands up, through the timing on.
Matt Hill is 6'6". He could play tonight against Cincinnati in the basketball game.
They may need him.
Redman drills his man. He's got a first down across the 45-yard line. Arnold Jackson with his first reception of the day, 11-yard gain.
Well, his first reception, as you said, I would expect many more to come. He is the guy, 101 receptions to go on top of 90 that he had last year. Redman, no matter how many times you hit him or knock him down, you're not going to be able to rattle him. He has got such great composure back there in the pocket, a key third down conversion.
Arnold Jackson was saying that he loves the blue turf, feels he's a lot quicker on this blue turf. He's quick on any kind of turf anyway. Short drop, Redman, the ball tipped in the air by Malloy, caught on the play by Moreau. Frank Moreau gets about 3 yards out of it for Louisville. And it'll be second down coming up, so near a disaster averted there. A tip by Mike Malloy.
Well, it's hard to get to the quarterback on a 3-step drop. So if you're a defensive lineman, you got to get your hands up. There, if you're Frank Moreau, you've got to go at the knees of that defensive lineman, get his arms down. You can't stand there and block him standing up.
You got to get his arm. You're right. You got to get him down. But Frank is Johnny on the spot to catch a 3-yard reception.
If you're not going to block the guy, you better do something good.
Four receivers set now for Redman, who may be changing the play. On second down, under a blitz. Redman able to spin away. Penalty marker is down. Delay of game apparently took too much time, did the Cardinals. Yep, delay of game. Louisville looks just a little bit disjointed offensively here in the early going of this one.
Well, I think we thought the crowd...
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
We thought the crowd could be a factor so far in this first quarter. We've seen that, and with Boise State getting the lead, it's going to be more of a factor.
We are in the blue sky country on the blue turf of Bronco Stadium, Boise, Idaho. Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright, Mike Gleason. And second down now. Pass under shot, the intended receiver, Lavelle Boyd. And Redman does not look very sharp yet. And I underline the word yet. These guys have tendency to warm up, you guys, as quarterbacks, as the game goes along?
Well, it may take a little longer to warm up today, and that was one thing that Dirk Cutter couldn't predict with today's game. He was concerned about the speed in the passing game and turnovers, but he also thought the cold weather was going to affect the offense and the way both teams throw the ball. And I'd say so far, Wayne, it's affected Chris Redman more than it has Bart Hendricks.
25% on 3rd and long. This qualifies 3rd and 12. Blitz coming from the corner. Redman able to elude. And then throws it deep, and he's got Arnold Jackson ahead of the field. Jackson for the touchdown. 54-yard pass play. They blitzed Shenard Hartz off the corner of the defense. Redman able to escape and find Jackson wide open downfield.
What a nice job by Redman, knowing that the blitz was coming from his backside. Wayne, he did that John Elway spin away, where you turn your back to the line of scrimmage, you go towards where the blitz is coming from. Once you get by that guy, there's nobody else there, and the presence of mind to look downfield and found a streaking Arnold Jackson wide open.
John Hilbert for the point after. And penalty markers down. Penalty markers down on this play here. Oh, there's Arnold Jackson having a seat on the bench.
Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
So they'll be forced to try this extra point again. 6 plays, 67 yards. And Louisville starting to feel nice and warm here in this cold temperature of Boise. And look at Redman. There's that Elway spin you were talking about, Randy.
And then he just plants his feet, looks downfield, and when you've got a receiver this open, it makes it a much easier throw.
There's Chris Redman. He knows he's got his man. A little longer PAT, and it is good. So John Hilbert with a point after touchdown. Louisville has scored on its first 2 possessions. Opening drive of the game, resulting in a field goal, and then this one goes the distance for the touchdown.
Take a look right here. You see number 3, Shenard Hart. That's the corner that Redman is looking at. He comes in unblocked because Moreau's got to pick up the man coming inside, and as he breaks free, there's nobody else there. Redman does a nice job of keeping his poise, and then, you know, no matter how open Jackson is, that was a pretty good throw.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you consider it looked like you were just trying to throw the ball away. Coming up, the Outback Bowl, Purdue Boilermakers and Georgia Bulldogs. New Year's Day, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Coverage begins with Bowl Game Day, presented by Outback Steakhouse at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
And here you see Drew Brees. Does he start his Heisman run next year in this game?
I would think he does. ESPN.com, part of Go Network. Go.com. There's a look at the drive. 67 yards, 54 of it on that one bomb from Chris Redman to Arnold Jackson, who caught 101 passes this season. So John L. Smith and his kids have enjoyed their week here in Idaho. A lot of fun on some snowmobiles. We may be able to show you that earlier this week. John Hilbert restarting the game. Line drive kick. Brock Forsey lets it get by him into the end zone, and Boise State will start out of the 20-yard line. Well, neither defense has stopped the offense yet. 3 offensive possessions, and we've had 3 scores, a field goal, a couple of touchdowns. Back to the sidelines, Mike Leeson. Mike?
Well, Wayne, the quarterback for Boise State, Bart Hendricks, has really fought off a lot of adversity. As a matter of fact, the local print media was really hard on him. It was printed that he would never lead the Broncos to a conference championship. And, of course, he's done that, and he's, threw 22 touchdowns, ran for 8. And, of course, he already has a touchdown here this afternoon. So this is a big game, a big season for Bart Hendricks, Wayne.
Brent Myers, the offensive coordinator, Dirk Cutter, the head coach, both mentioned the mental toughness of Bart Hendricks is a big part of his makeup. First down to the 20-yard line for the Broncos, who now trail 10-7. Hendricks off play action. Beautiful throw. Wingfield to the 45-yard line. 25-yard gain to a first down. Courtney Dinkins had the stop.
Wayne, we talked earlier about the way that Boise State will spread the ball around. 12 different receivers had caught a touchdown pass. 16 have caught a pass. Wingfield came on later in the season. When you get this kind of time to throw, you run a nice route, you're going to get open like that. And Hendricks has shown us that he can get the ball, put the ball right on the money.
Here's a look at Billy Wingfield heading to the sidelines. First down at the 45. Hendricks with a long count. And here's Malathon, nowhere to go on the outside, and he did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, they cut it off very well. Gantos initially, and Devon Thomas, the defensive end, made sure the play stayed inside. Take a look at the running back by committee here. And again, the most yards rushing for any single individual was Davey Malathon with 577 yards rushing. But take a look at the leading rushers in the last 3 games.
And Wayne, they've only had 3 games this year where a back, one of those backs being Hendricks, has gone over 100 yards. So it's not a big part of the offense, but they need to sprinkle it in.
Hendricks has time and an open receiver. Jay Swilly out of bounds, 36-yard line. In Louisville territory, they mark it to the 35, a 20-yard gain.
Swilly, as a redshirt freshman, came on late in the year. What they like best about him is he's an excellent possession receiver. He'll go over the middle and make the tough catch. This time he goes to the outside, does a nice job of catching it and turning it up, but they're not afraid to go to this guy over the middle or on 3rd down.
Nor is Boise State afraid of a deficit of 10-7. They outscored their opponents by a whopping 16 points a game in their 7 home games on this field this season. But I don't think they've seen the likes of a Louisville. And the reverse to Davidson. He's got Swan out in front. Swan fails to execute a block. Davidson makes it on his own and nearly makes a first down, although they say he stepped out apparently at the 30-yard line. So it is a gain of 5 yards. Courtney Dinkins over there to escort him to the chalk marks.
This is where you're going to see Louisville maybe have a bit of an advantage, is when Boise State tries to run east and west, the speed of this Louisville defense. There you see all the white jerseys over there. Pretty good blocking at the point of attack, but that speed just brings too many of those guys over there. That's why we've seen Boise State, without much success, though, try to run in the middle.
2nd down and 5. Reed. Not a whole lot there off tackle. Devon Thomas, again, the man who closed the gap. And also in on that tackle is Reggie Hartgrove on the interior portion of the line. They will bring in they'll use about 8 defensive linemen on this front for Louisville.
Been the most banged up part of their defense is that front 7, front 8. You see Donovan Arp and Mike Gantos already making an impact here, but the backups will get their fair share of playing time also.
3rd down and 4. Hendricks got his man for a first down. Mike Davison inside the 25, and boy, does he draw a crowd. First down near the 21-yard line.
Saw Boise State there attack Rashad Holman, number 2 for Louisville. He is the best of the cornerbacks in the entire defensive backs for Louisville. Comes into today's game with 5 interceptions, but Boise State doesn't seem to be shying away from him as they're throwing the ball where their offense dictates, not necessarily where the defense does.
Take a look at what Boise State does on first downs. That's how you get on a roll offensively, Randy. You get 7 a pop on first down, and you're in good shape.
Makes 2nd down a lot easier to call.
Hendricks play action. They roll the pocket a bit. He's got a receiver open off the hands of his big tight end, Dave Stahelski, the senior out of Marysville, Washington. Bart knew he could have made that a lot easier catch for the big guy.
Looked like he rushed the throw a little bit when he didn't have to. He doesn't have a lot of pressure in his face, steps up in the pocket nicely, and throws the ball a little bit off target when Stahelski was wide open right there. Maybe if he had set his feet a little bit longer when he had the time, he could have thrown a better pass.
2nd and 10 coming up. Hendricks, 4 of 6, 75 yards passing. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. 3 receivers set. Davison in motion. They fake the reverse. Hendricks on the pitch. Here comes Gavin Reed inside the 20-yard line. Out of bounds just short of the 18. Jeremy Collins forced him out of the far side. So again, Boise State intent upon getting to the outside. And we've got an injured Bronco down to the field, Shea Swan, the fullback, who was out in front leading that play. Make that Gavin Reed. Gavin Reed down on the field.
Take a look and see if we can see what happened. There you see 29 Reed on the outside getting the pitch there. Nice job on the option. Reed gets to the outside, cuts up, and just gets trampled on.
Take a look at this. See if we can watch his head and the helmet. He may have gotten hit by the knee of his lineman.
His own man right there. Shea Swan, 39, looked like he put his knee right into the head. Gavin Reed may be shaken up with the self-imposed injury.
I beg your pardon. I didn't mean to call Shea Swan a lineman. He is a fullback, although some fullbacks are built like linemen, and he looked like one on that play.
They use him like a lineman. They use him as a blocker. Only 5 carries and 8 receptions coming into today for the entire season, so he's a blocker back.
Gavin Reed is a big part of this offense, and they're going to help him over to the bench. Coming up, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on ESPN. Clemson Tigers, Mississippi State Bulldogs tonight, 7:30 from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. Clemson 6-5 after a poor season the previous year. Tommy Bowden, who led Tulane to an unbeaten season a year ago, head coach at Clemson, has them bowling after just 1 year. ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. On third down, Hendricks, quarterback draw. He'll load a couple of defenders. He might get to the end zone, and he's inside the 5. I'll tell you what, they have had him surrounded today, but have not been able to wrap him up. It's a first and goal to the 4-yard line, 14-yard camper.
You'll see 92, Michael Josiah, have a clear shot right there, and Hendricks just runs right by him. And I agree with you, Wayne. The white jerseys have done a nice job of surrounding him. Hendricks has made his yard running up the middle and breaking some tackles.
So it is first and goal in the final 2 minutes of this first quarter. There's the present drive. And off play action, Hendricks going into his fullback, Shea Swan. Touchdown! 4-yard touchdown pass, Shea Swan.
We just talked about him not being a big part of the offense with only 5 carries and 8 receptions. However, that being his 9th reception, his 2nd touchdown. When you're running the ball well, play action works. Nice job of selling the run. The linebackers step up, and Shea Swan just slipped right behind him, wide open.
Well, Louisville was thinking like we were. They never used the fullback a whole lot for anything more than blocking. They used him as a receiver there. The extra point by Kalaiakai is good. All Big West kicker, walk-on freshman out of Kaiser, Oregon. Shea Swan reaches the end zone off the deft passing touch of Bart Hendricks. And Boise State recaptures the lead in a seesaw first quarter. Mike Gleason with us on the sidelines. Mike, what do you have for us?
Well, Wayne, we're joined by Scott Shaner, the general manager of Crucial Technology. Of course, it's the Crucial Humanitarian Bowl. And Scott, give us some background on Crucial Technology.
Crucial Technology is a division of Micron Technology, which is the largest employer in the state. And what we do is we sell memory upgrades, computer memory upgrades, direct end users, mostly via the internet. That's why Crucial.com.
In the background, why you wanted to sponsor a bowl game. I know the people out here are really proud of this game.
The Humanitarian Bowl is a big event in Boise, and there wasn't a sponsor. Actually, we just jumped in about 6 weeks ago. It's a huge event here in Boise. It's a great day in Boise, and we're just proud to be a title sponsor.
All right, Scott. Of course, it's a little cloudy today, Wayne, but this is really a beautiful area, as you can attest to last year when it was 52 degrees and sunny. Let's go back upstairs.
No question about it, Mike. This is a gorgeous state, a beautiful place to live, and we've had the pleasure of coming out here, Randy Wright and myself, and our crew for the past couple of seasons, and it has been wonderful. Man of the hour at the moment, I should say man of the moment, Shea Swan. Boise State recaptures the lead 14-10 and let the track meet begin, partner.
I don't know if either one of these teams brought their punter.
I don't think so.
If they did, it may have been a wasted spot on the plane.
Parker has a seam. Off to the races. Zeke Parker. He's gone. Touchdown, 91 yards. Third touchdown return of the season for Zeke Parker. scoring in many ways here today. I can guarantee you that much with these two teams.
Well, we knew Louisville had the speed at the skill position, and Zeke Parker, the third wideout that starts for this Louisville team, has done it before in the special teams. And again here, and when you can get your special teams to contribute with such a potent offense led by Redman, it just adds to what you can do.
Hilbert right down the middle with the point after touchdown. And Louisville didn't take long for the Cardinals to jump back on top. 18 seconds is all it took for Zeke Parker to go 91 yards for a touchdown off the kickoff return. It's 17-14 Louisville. And Dirk Cutter knows he's got his work cut out for him.
Take a look here. When you're on the return team, here is Justin Thomas, number 47. He's the lead blocker for Parker. When he can get through the hole untouched, it allows him to block the safety, which he does right there. And when your lead blocker gets through the hole and can block the safety, does a nice job, then you're going to get a huge return as Parker turns it all the way into a touchdown.
Take a look at this. He comes storming right into your living room. How about that? Tell you what, this game is living up to the billing. This has always been a high-scoring affair. We saw a great game here last year between Idaho and Southern Miss, and we're off to a flying start here this season.
We saw the Idaho Vandals return a kickoff for a touchdown last year. Got them back into the game when they were down 7-0.
John Hilbert, sixth-year senior from Boonville, Indiana. Suffered a devastating groin injury late in the season, missed the final game against Southern Miss, but has come back in time for this ball game, his final collegiate action. Ferris. Across the 20. Nice cutback move near the 30-yard line. Don't forget, last year's Humanitarian Bowl was a high-scoring affair, matching Southern Miss and Idaho. The Vandals tied the game 7-7. Jerome Thomas returned this kickoff. How about this? 98 yards. Look at these cutbacks to pay dirt on a beautiful sunny day here in Boise, and that was pretty much the start of things. With 6.5 minutes remaining in the game, Derek Nix tied the contest 35 apiece with his third touchdown of the day. But crowd favorite Idaho scored the winning touchdown 2 minutes later. 28-yard touchdown pass. John Welsh, Ryan Prestamonico, the final. Idaho 42, Cincinnati 35. Hendricks to the air. Got a man wide open. Zeb Putzier inside the 35 of Louisville. 37-yard pass play.
Wayne, I think we've seen that no matter what happens as an offense stands on the sideline, they're going to come out with confidence and come out and continue to attack and put the ball up in the air. Nice job by Hendricks. They've had this play open before. This time, Pootsier, wide open, does a nice job of catching it. And he, as a former tight end, led the team in receiving this year with 39. He's got great hands. They moved him to wideout. He's done so well, but he's not afraid to run you over.
From Eagle, Idaho. Hendricks coming back for it. Davison makes the catch on a good tackle on the flank of the defense. Boy, Mike Brown, and coaches talked about him. He is maybe the best athlete on this defense. Redshirt freshman out of Louisville. He will cover the slot receiver, and he's got a challenge today in Davison.
He's got a challenge covering any and all of these receivers, but as you said, maybe the best player on their team. A redshirt freshman. He's an athlete. He is got speed. He was a running back in high school. He gained over 2,000 yards as a senior as a running back. Here, he's a defensive bandit, kind of their strong safety linebacker type, and he is a good one.
4 receivers set. 2nd and 12. Loss of 2 on the previous play, and the first quarter comes to a close. Well, it's been a shootout so far, and the last bullet fired was by this man, Zeke Parker, all the way to give Louisville the lead at the end of 1. 31 points in just 15 minutes. It's in the hands of the offenses here today. That's Brett Myers, the offensive coordinator under head coach Dirk Cutter. At Boise State, his team on the drive with a 2nd down at the 35-yard line, 2nd and 12. Hendricks pretty well-covered tight end on the play, Dave Stahelski. Looked like he drew some double coverage of the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at the first quarter numbers. Boy, the passing yards, how about that? Much of it through the air. Hendricks 7 of 9 passing, 114 yards. Redman 5 of 9, 96 yards passing.
And with the cold weather, the coldest game today that either one of these two teams have played in this year, we really haven't seen many turnovers, no fumbles, no bobbles, snaps. Both teams doing a nice job.
Yeah, the weather usually much warmer in Boise than it is here today, around 20 degrees today. It was 52 here last January, or so you should say last December. Hendricks and his receiver Davison may have crossed signals there. Davison slipped and fell. He was underneath the coverage of Anthony Floyd, the true freshman nickelback. Take a look at it in the ISO.
Nice job of setting this play up by Hendricks and the offensive line. There you see Holman doing a pretty good job of making contact early, and Davison just lost his balance there.
Yep.
Looked like Holman wasn't biting on the fake, though, and had that pretty well covered.
Beg your pardon. It was Holman on the coverage, and looked to me like the receiver just lost his footing on his own for the most part. Opening minute of play, second quarter. And a timeout called on the field. Back and forth we go. Louisville leading at the moment, 17-14 in the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 1999 Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl is brought to you by Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant.
Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason back in Boise. Fourth down. Boise State on the drive. Hendricks intended for Swilly. Pass overthrown, incomplete on 4th and 12. So Louisville will take over at the 35-yard line. That's the first time an offense has been stopped without points.
Well, the Boise State right in the middle of you punt, you go for it, you try the field goal. Felt they had that pattern open earlier in this game and had hit it. This time, nice coverage by Louisville, and Hendricks really had no place to go. As you see Swilly being talked to there on the sideline, he's got to create some separation. He's got to get himself open, give his quarterback a place to throw the ball.
Jackson and Parker, good speed and quickness to the top of your screen. Redman starts in the shotgun, and he runs it with Moreau. To the 40-yard line, a gain of about 5 yards. Matt Hill, principal defender on the play for Boise State.
Moreau has really done a nice job stepping up in this, his 5th season, but his first as a full-time starter. Had split time the last couple of years, put together a nice season, as you mentioned earlier, Wayne, 17 touchdowns on the ground.
Had a torn ACL in 1996, and it took him almost 2 years to come back from that injury. Second down. Ball tipped up into the air, incomplete. Boy, they brought the blitz with effectiveness from the safety, Shenard Hartz. My goodness, he's come off the flank a couple of times, Randy, and does he have some quicks about him?
And that's the kind of defense that Brent Guy, their defense coordinator, wants to play. Bring people, keep coming, change things up so Redman doesn't know where they're going to come from. Hartz does a nice job realizing he wasn't going to get to Redman, jumping up, getting his hands up there. And Redman has got to start doing a better job of either looking off his receivers or pumping with a fake and getting those hands out of his passing lane so he can get the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Third deflected pass of the day for Redman. Now on third down under a blitz again. Hit as he throws it over the middle. Arnold makes the catch. Arnold Jackson in traffic. Boy, and he had glove-like coverage on him from the linebacker Kareem Williams. And did Redman thread the needle? Gain of 8 yards. First down near the 48-yard line.
And this is what Louisville fans have come to expect from Chris Redman. Standing in the pocket, holding onto the ball for the last possible second, knowing he's going to take the hit, but yet delivering a perfect pass to a well-covered receiver.
The number is on Redman. He looks to the air again, and it's dropped on the flank. Zeke Parker had it, looked upfield, and forgot it. Dropped it up. Oh, my. He gets a little pat on the back for the official.
And Zeke Parker was the receiver that Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, thought would step forward today. He hasn't played a lot, only 20 receptions coming in. He's got great speed, and knowing that Boise State would try and take away Arnold Jackson, he expects Parker to step up and have a better game.
And, Randy, despite his speed, his longest reception coming into today's game was 22 yards. Last year, he averaged 18.7 yards per reception. Redman changing the play at the line. Has a three-receiver set on second down. Ball nearly picked away. Glove-like coverage. Ross Ferris, the safety, on the intended receiver, Lavelle Boyd.
Nice coverage by Ross Ferris. When you're only running a 5 or 6 yard route, it's up to the receiver to sell the route and create separation. Here you see Ferris going right out there. Lavelle Boyd, number 12, rounds the pattern, never makes a sharp cut. And when you round it, you give the defensive back room to cut right underneath you, and that's what Ferris did.
3rd and 10, Louisville. Redman, 4-man rush. Jackson, not enough for the first down. Turned away near the 47-yard line of Boise State. Dempsey Dees on the coverage. Penalty marker down on the play.
We had a flag that came in very late, Wayne. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a personal foul or something after the whistle was blown dead against Boise State.
Personal foul, face mask, on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A costly penalty, to say the least. And the football now up near the 32-yard line of Boise State.
Boise State had them stopped, would have put them in a punting situation, but that face mask, dead ball happened away from the play. Totally unnecessary. It was in the backfield close to where Redman was. Just gives Louisville another chance. Totally unnecessary.
First penalty of the day against Boise State. Louisville trying to cash in from the Bronco 32. 5 receivers set, naked gun. Redman hit as he pops it over the right side, and it's intercepted, and down the sideline, Chenard Hart. He's going to go all the way. 10-5, touchdown. Boise State's defense, 29 turnovers, 14 interceptions this season. That's their 15th interception of the campaign. Matt Malloy put some pressure on from his defensive end spot.
And Wayne, that's one of the criticisms of Chris Redman. He is so tough. He'll stand in that pocket to the last possible second. Because he does that, he takes a lot of hits while he's trying to get rid of the ball, and they cause the ball to go in goofy directions, and they lead to interceptions, and that's what we saw there.
80-yard interception return for the touchdown. Goliath with the extra point. Boise State jumps back on top. 80-yard return by Chenard Hartz, and the Broncos lead by 4. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason, welcome back to the track meet. Boise State at the moment out in front, 21-17. Well, take a look at the ways in which Boise State has scored here today. 3 drives of 80 yards. If you want to count that third score as a drive, the interception return for a touchdown by Chenard Hartz. So they've scored on the ground. Bart Hendricks through the air on a reception for a touchdown by Shea Swan, and then the return by Hartz for the touchdown off the interception. Don't go away. This one's far from over. They're not going to kick to Zeke Parker. A short pooch kick taken on the far sidelines by one of the up backs, and he's out of bounds. So it'll be a first down across the 30-yard line. As Tony Stallings, running back, former linebacker, is the man who got that kickoff.
Take a look at this interception. Why it happens. The left guard and left tackle go to the outside. That allows Mike Malloy to come underneath. They whiff on him. He gets right into Redman's face. And Redman, as we talked earlier, stands in there to the last possible second. Throws a bad pass.
And take a look at the run. Nobody was going to catch Chenard Hartz.
Well, that's one way to make up for a personal foul that gives the other team a first down.
Frank Moreau to the outside. Hartz meets him at the chalk marks on the far side. 38-yard line gain of 5.
Chenard Hartz is a little fired up, I'd say, right now. He takes on a big Frank Moreau. It just squares them up right on the sideline.
6 carries, 35 yards for Moreau. I would say Shenard Hart's is feeling pretty good about himself, and he should. I tell you.
He's going to go and say, I don't know if I'm going to take Moreau on again like that.
Yeah, exactly. He said, I need a break now. 80-yard interception return, next hit of the game on Frank Moreau. Here's Moreau once again, and sliding past a defender, Marcel Yates, who came in place of Shenard Hartz, makes the tackle not before Moreau picks up a first down. I think the Cardinals would like to kind of settle things down a little bit here, Randy, on this drive and put together some time consumption.
And they've got the perfect quarterback to do that in Redman. He keeps his poise. He's thrown for over 12,000 yards. He's thrown 13 interceptions this year, so he knows what it's like to step on the field after some adversity. Does a nice job of settling his team down.
Blitz coming. They picked it up nicely. Moreau made a beautiful block and then penalty marker down. Redman threw the ball out of play. Boy, Frank Moreau made a crunching block on the blitz right up the middle. Let's see what the call is here.
Illegal hands to the face. On the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So the penalty moves it into Boise State territory.
Take a look at the block by Frank Moreau, the running back. He's got to carry out a fake, but yet he keeps his head up. He sees the blitz coming, and he goes right after his knees. Does this knowing Redman's got a short drop, get those hands down, and gives Redman a passing lane. Nice job by Frank Moreau.
He took Kareem Williams right out of that play at the point of attack. 5 receivers set. Redman to the short man. Arnold Jackson yanked down from behind by Brian Johnson. Pickup of about this 5 yards to the 36-yard line. 2nd and 5 coming up.
One thing you can tell about an experienced quarterback, watch how Redman always throws the ball to the upfield shoulder of the back. Always hits him in stride so that receiver doesn't have to turn around and slow down. When you can throw it towards the goal line, you give your receiver a chance to catch it with his momentum going forward.
2nd down. Blitz coming. Moreau able to escape. Good block off the right side of the offense by Mark Gribna, and Frank Moreau rambles inside the 25. Ferris and Weber collaborate on the stop. 14-yard gain to a first down, Louisville.
Well, you talked about that block by Mark Gribna. He comes through the line. He's down into the secondary, and he just leads the way, seals off a lot of the eyesight by those defensive backs. And look, if you're Frank Moreau, you're coming through. You're seeing your offensive lineman just plow through deep in the secondary.
It's first down, Louisville. Boyd in motion. Moreau, big hole for a moment. Powers into it inside the 20-yard line, down near the 18. 2nd down coming up for Louisville. It's hard to say that the running game is a token piece of the puzzle for Louisville when Frank Moreau has rushed for over 1,200 yards coming in and 17 rushing touchdowns.
I think, Wayne, it's become a more intricate part of their offense because it's had success. I think they tried to sprinkle it in early, but because it continued to work, they became more dependent on it, and it has continued to be successful.
Out of the shotgun. Redman threw it just a bit behind his intended receiver on the play. Brooks had the coverage for the Broncos.
Brooks got lucky on that play, Wayne. I think he was guessing. Redman was under some pressure, and Ivan Green slipped right behind him. There you see the blitz coming through, and Brooks goes for the interception or the knockdown, doesn't get there. And if there's any way Green can get that, he doesn't get there at all. It's just a pass thrown behind Green, untouchable.
3rd down. Under a blitz from Malloy, and he gets his man. Wraps up Redman with an ankle grab back outside the 25-yard line. There's a penalty marker down. Penalty marker down. And Ivan Green is shaken up on the play of the tight end. Here's the call.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
This will push him out of field goal range.
Here you see Ivan Green, the All-American tight end for Louisville, shaking up. That play, Mike Malloy, defensive lineman for Boise State, just goes right around Anthony Bird, the left tackle, comes through almost untouched. The Redman never had a chance back there.
They had a blitz on the other side, but Malloy beat his man so cleanly, so quickly, Redman had no chance to get away.
Once again, a little low slap, and that's just a blown assignment. It looks as though the left guard, Darzinski, is supposed to block out, and when you're a defensive lineman coming through untouched, you better get the sack. Just a blown assignment, what looked like either the left guard or the left tackle. Redman never had a chance. And then the personal foul that tacks it on, as you said, Wayne, takes him out of field goal range.
Shenard Hartz was coming from the other side on the blitz, but didn't have to because, again, Malloy off that blown block. Able to get to the quarterback. Now the penalty moves the football back to the 42-yard line of Boise State.
It should have been, and it was, a dead ball after the play. That's why the down counts. That's why it's fourth down instead of third.
So on for the first time today, Chris Sabori. 8 inside the 20 for Sabori this season. Hits on the 10, a tail dragger into the end zone. Boise State will start at its 20-yard line, 42-yard punt by Sabori. Back and forth we go with the Broncos on the lead and 10:35 to go in the half. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason, great to have you back in Boise, the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Well, take a look at this. We mentioned Boise State's defense might be the quiet determining factor in this game, and they have come to the fore in the last 3 possessions. Hartz with the knockdown. Hartz with the interception return for a touchdown. And then Malloy with the crucial sack right there to take Louisville out of field goal range. Now the offense of Boise State leading 21-17 back on the field. First down from the 20-yard line of the Broncos. Brock Forsey. Boy, did he power through that hole. He read it beautifully. Rashad Holman in the deep secondary made the stop. Up near the 39-yard line on a 19-yard gain.
A rare, successful running play, especially to the inside for Boise State. You look at this hole. Forsey does a nice job of letting his block set up, and then he shows his speed. Probably the fastest of the 3 running backs for Boise State. Gets through there for their biggest gain on the ground yet today.
First down, just short of the 40-yard line for Boise State. Bart Hendricks at the control. Off play action has time. Got a man down the middle. Lou Finucci, the playmaker, to the 10-yard line of Louisville. 51-yard pass play.
Bart Hendricks taking advantage of the man-to-man coverage. He sees this pre-snap. The play-action pass brings the free safety up a little bit, and then there's no center field help. Finucci just runs right by Rashad Holman, the best cover guy for Louisville. And fortunately for Louisville, he was close enough to make the tackle, but there you see John L. Smith knowing what was coming, and his players just couldn't make the play, and you just feel helpless over there on the sideline.
First and goal to go, Boise State at the Louisville 10. Hendricks, short drop, hop flies for the end zone, and overshot Davison out of play.
Well, John L. Smith knew that if Boise State had success early, this crowd was going to get into this game. He also felt that they were going to be playing on a lot of emotion early. That emotion should settle down in the second half, and it will become more team against team instead of the crowd and everything. They have to stay, keep it close, though. Don't let Boise State get too much momentum or too far ahead.
Hendricks, 8 of 14, 165 yards. Malathon. Ball popped loose. I'm not sure if he was down or not. It did come loose, and it is Louisville football. So Louisville turns back Boise State, forcing its first turnover. Gentos made the hit that pried it loose.
And one of the constants that both coaches told us yesterday, turnovers would play a key part in this. Here you see a nice hole, but Mike Danto, 74, comes through with the hit, sticks that left arm in there, and knocks that ball loose. Clearly a fumble, and Louisville knows they had to make a stand there, didn't want to go down by 11, comes up with the ball.
Mike Brown comes up with the football. There's the reaction by Coach Cutter on the sidelines. Meanwhile, penalty marker down to the first play from scrimmage. Frank Moreau gets the call up the middle for short yardage.
You could see Dirk Cutter at that time. You could read his lips. He saw the fumble as it came out and said it to himself, and turned out to be a big play for that Louisville defense. And now Boise State helping them again with another face mask.
Another face mask penalty against the Boise State defense. And so this literally takes Louisville out of the hole.
Incidental face mask on a defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Still first down.
Doesn't quite get him out of the hole, but does get him an extra 5 yards. Sports Century 50 Greatest Athletes Marathon coming up. A weekly event that counts down the top 50 North American athletes of the past century. Looks back at the countdown. It's in entirety on ESPN2. Starts tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time. On first down, Moreau got by Johnson on the cutback. Beautiful run by Frank Moreau out near the 25-yard line. Over to make the tackle on the play, Tony Alteria, defensive tackle.
Wayne, what we've seen the last 2 drives that Louisville's had the ball is they've really started to get this running game going. And though they haven't had any points out of it, if they continue to have that success, Boise State's going to have to come up to stop that, and that's going to open things up as this game goes on for Redman in that passing game.
4 receivers set for Redman. Play action. Intercepted and dropped by Shenard Hartz. Intended for Lavelle Boyd. My goodness.
Well, you don't see that happen very often where Chris Redman will just throw the ball almost blindly into a very well-covered receiver. Not fooled by this play action right here. Redman's got plenty of time to get his head upfield, but look how well covered Boyd is. No chance for that ball to be complete. Fortunately for Redman, it wasn't intercepted.
Is that a tough throw? The quarterback rolling to his right? That's got to be a tougher throw thrown back against the grain.
It's not a tough throw when you have time to get your head around and you can see things develop, which he did at that point.
Yeah,
Much tougher going to the left.
They had Joe O'Shaughnessy out in front of that play, helping him out with the blocking. Frank Moreau gets maybe a yard to the 25-yard line here. And Mike Gleason is with us. Give us an update. What do you find out on Ivan Green, Mike?
Well, Wayne, actually, when he was helped out the field the previous series, he strained his quadricep in his right leg. He's going to be okay, maybe a little bit slower, but he's been in and out since the injury, and he said on the sidelines there's no way they could keep him off the field for his last football game at Louisville. Wayne?
Take a look at him right here.
Well, he has drastically improved his blocking, and look at this block right now. Takes his man all the way to the sideline and then jumps on top of him.
He took Zach Weber out of that play. Third down. Under pressure, Redman on the roll, and he's got his man broken up out of play, incomplete. Beautiful play made by Dempsey Dees. Arnold Jackson, the intended receiver. So the Boise State defense responds. It's 4th down, Louisville.
Take a look again, a whiff by the offensive line. Now, this is a line that only gave up 20 sacks all year. Redman can't quite get the ball there quickly enough, but he's running for his life, and it gives these enough time to get to the sideline and knock that ball down. But, Wayne, this is an offensive line that I think has drastically got to prove their mental assignments, their mental mistakes, not physical mistakes.
Sabori just did get that kick away from Lou Finucci. Dropped on the play. Louisville football. Dropped by Damian Schilling. Corey Wallace came up with it. So the Broncos with a huge mistake. Louisville back on the field offensively at the 31-yard line. Watch this. It starts early in the play.
Generally, when you have a punt block on, you tell your receiver to fair catch the ball because he doesn't have any blocking. He chooses not to fair catch it. It goes right through him, and Louisville's one opportunity down there, grabs the ball, gives them excellent field position, though I do think they're going to be penalized possibly for excess celebration, because that's what the flag is, I believe.
Well, turnovers now becoming sportsmanlike celebration, Randy, as you mentioned. And this takes it from the 31 back to the 46-yard line of Boise State.
Boise State spoiling one scoring opportunity with a fumble, and now giving Louisville decent field position with their second.
Quick toss. Jackson trying to get away. Can't quite do it. Damon Bowie made the stop. Lee, what do you have?
Well, Wayne, of course, Chris Redman's already thrown an interception that's been returned for an 80-yard touchdown, but the guy won't get rattled. He's played for 4 different offensive coordinators. Last year's offensive coordinator, Bob Bertino, is now the quarterback coach for the Jacksonville Jags. And Scott Linehan, this year's offensive coordinator, says the guy simply will not get rattled. The human element, you'd think there'd be some resistance, but he just goes in there and says, Coach, what you want me to do? And he simply does it. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Mike. On second down, Moreau trying to escape, and does. Boy, what a power run at the end of that one. Frank Burroughs got the first down just inside the 35-yard line, 9-yard gain.
When if you're Dirk Cutter, you realize you only get so many opportunities to put points on the board. His offense was playing with such momentum on such a roll. They turned the ball over now 2 times in a row. That offense has been on the bench for a long time. He, I'm sure, is hoping that they don't lose that momentum that they'd established early here.
Frank Burroughs, 74 yards rushing now, Randy. So Louisville beginning to show that it can work the football against this Boise State defense in more ways than one. And I think you're right. That's going to change the complexion of the way perhaps Boise State zones up or mans up defensively in the secondary.
No better way to take the crowd out of a game than to run the football well.
On first down at the 35. Boyd in motion. The short drop, Redman going over the top for Jackson. Pass just barely overthrown. Looked like good coverage by Dempsey Dees.
That did look like very good coverage. Dempsey Dees, the leader of this secondary for Boise State, 6 interceptions and 11 in his last 21. But this ball was pretty well thrown, and it didn't look as though Jackson made any extra effort to catch that. No dive, no attempts. Just kind of let it go, thinking it wasn't going to be right in his arms, and maybe thought he should have laid out right there, made an attempt for it.
Second and 10. Redman maybe calling the play at the line. Short drop, quick throw. Jackson hammer down. Penalty, or I should say whistles early in that play. I don't see a marker. And delay a game. Apparently there was a marker thrown on that play. So no play, and they'll redo it 5 yards back.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
The turnovers and the penalties beginning to add up for both sides.
Especially the penalties. It's hard to get into an offensive rhythm when you're constantly having the clock stopped and the discussion, and then you got to go back to the huddle.
8 penalties overall against Louisville here this afternoon, 74 yards in losses. Now it's second and 15 at the 40-yard line of Boise State. 6.5 minutes to go, first half. Boise State by 4. Redman again calls the play of the line, ducks it under Jason Paget. Penalty markers down. I believe this again delay a game. I don't think he got it off again. Randy, is he changing? Is he being forced to change plays at the line, or is he just calling plays at the line because of what he sees defensively by Boise State?
I think it's probably a combination of both. What he's doing is changing it at the line of scrimmage to the quick pass, the quick out. But I think what happens sometimes in bowl games, you get a feel as a quarterback how your conference's officials run the clock. Some officials started early, some started late. When you get into a bowl game, you run with a different crew of officials. Takes you a while to get used to how much time you have, and obviously Chris Redman hasn't gotten used to that yet.
2 consecutive delay of game penalties has made it second down and 20 from the 45 of Boise State. Now in the shotgun, 5 receivers set. Redman pump fakes, and over the middle he goes. LaBelle Boyd trying to cut it back and breaks a tackle. Down to the 25-yard line. It looks like he's got a 20-yard gain and a first down. Kareem Williams, the linebacker, along with Brian Johnson, collaborate on the stop. It is a first down for the Louisville Cardinals.
Nice job by Redman. He's got plenty of time here to throw the ball, steps up, and a nice play by Boyd, not only on the catch, but on the run after the catch. That's what gives them the first down, is that extra effort. Picked up that first down just by a couple of inches, looks like. Wayne, one thing if you're an offense, when you see a defense blitz and they have success, and that's what Boise State has been doing, is coming after Redman with 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. When you see them have success, they're going to continue to do it.
And the counter for that, Randy, draw plays, screen passes, that type of thing?
You go on long counts, you get them to jump off sides. You go on quick-hitting pass plays that will allow your receivers maybe to break something open. But the most important thing is you've got to pick up the blitz. You've got to show them that when you blitz, you're still not going to get to the quarterback, and Louisville has yet to do that today.
Well, the Cardinals are inches short of a first down at the 25-yard line of Boise State, and they face third down. Frank Moreau will all set back behind Redman. Quick count, quarterback sneak should be enough for the first down. And, Randy, you see a lot of that in those third and inches situations. The quick count before the defense is set, and the quarterback just picks a hole and goes to it. Don't adjust the screen of your television. We are on the blue turf of Bronco Stadium in Boise. Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl 3. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason now. Great to have you with us. Take a look at 208 yards of offense for Louisville in this first half. How about Boise State? They're up there as well. Oh, good block by Jackson. Boyd steered out of bounds to the near side. One thing about these Louisville wide receivers, they are good blockers downfield. Arnold Jackson escorting Lavelle Boyd on that play, a gain of about 7 or 8 yards.
Nice adjustment Louisville makes here. When they want to get rid of the ball quickly, they put Redman in the shotgun. They don't put him under center. He's had 4 passes, blocked at the line of scrimmage from under center. Put him in the shotgun, you make that defense run that much further, they can't get there.
Do you try to roll the pocket a little bit?
I think you got to start going on longer counts and start mixing in rolling the pocket, but that's not Louisville's game. They like him back there.
Moreau trying to cut it back, nowhere to go. Number 1, the penetration up front on the defensive front line for Boise State, and then Brian Johnson cleaned it up, made sure that Frank Moreau was not going to be able to spin away for a first down. So it becomes third down for Louisville.
Brian Johnson, the linebacker for Boise State, first on the team in tackles and first on the team in tackles for losses. Yet he stays out there in pass coverage also. He's a senior. He plays tight end and fullback as a freshman. Didn't play linebacker until his sophomore year.
Trips to the top of your screen. Redman in the shotgun. Here's the roll. Redman trying to escape, and does, inside the 15. He's got the first down near the 12-yard line. Kareem Williams made the tackle for Boise State.
You mentioned earlier moving the pocket. That's a good sprinkle that they do, because if you know you're going to sit back in the pocket, you can direct where you bring your blitzes as a defensive coordinator. There you see 44 Andy Bennett chasing from the backside. If you can just show that you've got the ability to move the pocket, you're going to keep that defense guessing, and they're going to become a little more conservative, a little more stable.
And then you make Andy Bennett and Mike Malloy go a lot farther. There's Louisville inside the red zone. Running hard to the 8-yard line. Hill in on that tackle along with Altieri. Second down upcoming for Louisville.
One of the differences you'll see between Louisville and Boise State is Louisville has more confidence in their running game, and they've got a bigger back there with Frank Moreau. 17 touchdowns on the ground. This is where they go to him. Boise State, no matter how close they get, passing is always a big part of their game. But when they run it, it's Bart Hendricks running it.
5 receivers set, naked shotgun, quick toss. Redman got his man, touchdown. Touchdown, Damian Dorsey, redshirt freshman from Anniston, Alabama. 8-yard touchdown catch by Dorsey, and Louisville vaults back into the lead.
Well, Shenard Hart, the strong safety, is not a super cover man. That time giving plenty of cushion to his receiver, Damian Dorsey. One of the easiest pitch and catches Redman will have is he gets the ball to Dorsey, and Dorsey almost gets into the end zone before Hart can come up there and make any contact.
Gilbert, and the extra point is good. 3 minutes, 39 seconds left to be played. Louisville Cardinals, Boise State Broncos. Back and forth it goes with Chris Redman and the Cardinals in the lead, 24-21. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Louisville leading 24-21 now as we have seesawed all afternoon out here in Boise. There's the scoring drive, 10 plays. Dorsey, the 8-yard touchdown reception.
Dorsey's first catch of the year. Redshirt freshman.
Getting some time for Charles Sheffield, who was dismissed from the team before the bowl preparations began. John Hilbert, as I mentioned, out of Boonville, Indiana, in his final game for Louisville. Good strong kick here. This one in the end zone, and coming out of there, here we go. Brock Forsey out across the 25-yard line. Let's go to the studio. Reese Davis. Reese.
Well, Wayne, coming up at halftime, we're going to look ahead to another team that can really put some points on the board, Clemson, as they get ready for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl against a little bit tougher defense in Mississippi State. We'll take you around to all of the big money games with our BCS Blitz, and of course, Blitz yields big hits, and we'll have the hits of the year as administered by Dr. Jerry Punch. See you at halftime.
Thank you very much, Reese. I like those big money games, don't you? I'm going to watch a few of those this weekend.
As a quarterback, you start talking about blitzes, you can kind of shy away from them.
First down for Boise State. Broncos now trailing by 3. Hendricks. Decisive sideline throw. Jay Swilly's got the first down, and he's escorted to the chalk marks near the 43-yard line. Swilly emerged as the top possession receiver on the team. They call him first down. The last 5 games, 21 catches, 323 yards, including 7 catches against Idaho. Of the 21 receptions, 16 resulted in first downs.
Think of the last 5 games. This is one reason why their offense has been so productive, is these young receivers have really come into their own. You see Davison only 7 catches, but a 32-yard average, and Swilly 21 in just the last 5 games.
Play action to Malathon. Hendricks over the top. Panucci! Diving grab for a first down at the 36-yard line. Rashad Holman, the coverage for Louisville. 21-yard pickup.
What a great throw by Bart Hendricks. Stands back there in the pocket, gets excellent time, good protection, sees the ball, the field developed downfield, but throws that ball perfectly to the sideline. Panucci makes a nice catch. I am really impressed with Bart Hendricks here.
2 long sideline throws for Hendricks on the last 2 plays have moved the Broncos into enemy territory. Louisville showing a blitz. Long count by Hendricks. 5-step drop in traffic, trying to thread it over the middle to a pretty well-covered tight end by the name of Dave Stahelski. And he had good coverage on him from the safety, Corey Wallace.
Dave Stahelski was the leading receiver coming into this season. The veteran tight end played a much bigger part earlier in the year as these young receivers were feeling their way. As they started to develop and started to contribute, Stahelski kind of fell by and hasn't been as big a part of the offense as he was earlier.
Hendricks off to a good start today. By the way, Stahelski will be playing in the East-West Shrine Game January 15th in Palo Alto, California.
The first Broncos since 1986.
Second down. Little swing pass. Here comes Stahelski. Made the first man miss, but not the second. Boy, that second man doesn't miss many tackles. Michael Brown, the bandit back. He is tough. Best athlete, as we mentioned, on this team. All freshman team selection. Redshirt freshman out of Louisville. Was a great high school basketball player in Kentucky.
Was an outstanding running back, as you said. We talked to John L. Smith. We said, did you think he was going to be this good a linebacker this early? And he was a running back. Did you recruit him as a running back? Oh, yeah. We recruited him as a running back in his mind.
In his mind. That's the key word there. In his mind. He's always going to play linebacker for us.
And he's a good one.
Boise State, 50% on third downs. Hendricks, passed just a bit off the mark. Stahelski had disengaged from the coverage just a bit. And it'll be 4th down now for Boise State.
That was a very wobbly ball. Don't know if that got tipped at the line or if Hendricks was just rushing the throw a little bit and made a bad pass. But that ball was uncatchable for Stahelski, and that could have been a key 3rd down pickup.
Field goal unit comes onto the field. Nick Kaliakai. 45 has been his long. And this will be a 49-yard field goal attempt. The kick end over and into the uprights, and it is no good. Short and to the near side. So the Louisville defense has held. Speaking of Louisville, the kids from Kentucky have had a good time out here in the snow. On Tuesday, the Cardinals took time out to try their hands at snowmobiling.
There you see the smart ones wearing a helmet.
Yes. Some of the players did bring their helmets to the airport helipad in Idaho City, just 20 miles north of Boise in the Salmon River Mountains. Boy, John L. was mentioning to us, John L. Smith, the head coach, saying, I couldn't get the guys off the snowmobiles. My goodness. They just loved it. They've had a great time out here. Moreau hit a couple of times, and down he goes near the 35, a gain of a few yards. Mike Malloy, the principal defender on the stop for Boise State. We're inside of 2 minutes to go in this first half. These two teams have combined for 45 points, so this game has lived up to expectation.
As we thought it would be. Pretty clean game, although the second quarter a little more plagued with penalties. Louisville, though, plenty of time left on the clock should they choose to put the ball up in the air.
Redman just froze, and Malloy gets his second sack of the second quarter.
Louisville didn't seem to be in a big hurry to get the ball snapped, though they're under 2 minutes to go, and they have 2 timeouts left. Mike Malloy, though, has played an outstanding first half, just going right around Anthony Bird. Just a missed tackle, and he has been living in the backfield here with Chris Redman.
9-yard loss on the play, and Boise State, Randy, takes a timeout because they may have an opportunity to do a little something here with a minute 14 left to go. And then take a look at that Boise State defense. The big key for them has been the way they have forced turnovers. With the 29 turnovers coming into this game, they've done a tremendous job there, but they've also had 42 sacks over the course of the season. But if you can't get to a television set this weekend, catch all the BCS action on ESPN Radio. Check your local listings for the stations in your area. We've got the Rose Bowl coming your way on New Year's Day. Boy, that should be a fine ball game between Stanford and Wisconsin. And then the Orange Bowl, Michigan, Alabama, followed by the Fiesta with Nebraska and Tennessee. And then on January 4th, the Sugar Bowl National Championship game, Florida State, Virginia Tech.
Okay, what's your call in the Sugar Bowl, Florida State, Virginia Tech?
I'm going to pull for Virginia Tech. I'm going to say Florida State's going to win. But I always root for the underdog.
Do you always walk in the middle of the road like that?
I always hedge my bet. Well, Mike Gleason, Chris Redman's been knocked around a little bit today. How's he holding up?
Well, Wayne, he's holding up just fine, but that's a good point because one of 3 passers, Division I-A, to throw for 12,000 yards. But if he has an Achilles, it's his chin. Several times his chin has been busted open. As a matter of fact, 2 or 3 times this year. You can see his face mask. They tried several face masks. The one you can see right there is a little bit larger than most quarterback face masks, and he has a special chin strap made to keep him on the field, so to prevent the bandaging and even stitching.
Thank you, Mike. I guess you could say he's got a glass jaw. I'm glad he's not boxing. That would be a real liability.
4 times the Louisville Sports Information Department told us he's been stitched up during a game where he's had to come out, get stitches in his chin, and go back in and play. And then Coach John L. Smith said 4 times. He goes, well, 4 times that you know of.
Yeah, that you know of, exactly. He's playing for the most part in this quarter, Randy, without his longtime receiver, and that would be Ivan Green, the tight end who's been in and out of the lineup since being shaken up earlier in this second quarter. And he's been on the sidelines. There he is right there. And this is a kid that has played with Chris Redman since the 8th grade. They have had a tremendous bond together. And you just hope Ivan Green can come back. And maybe they can work on that leg injury he suffered earlier and get him back into the lineup for this final half of football with Chris Redman. There's a look at him, a senior, male high school, Louisville, Kentucky, where he and Chris and another teammate were coached by Chris's father. 3rd down. Redman waits. And it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Jackson. And the pass sailed wide of the mark near the 50-yard line. Boise State's defense really playing more and more role as this game grinds on.
Mike Malloy having a career game here in this first half. Comes into this game with only 6 sacks. Watch the top of your screen, though. He'll come around the backside, get his arms around Redman, and cause the forward throw. Louisville is going to have to do something to take care of him in this second half. Either keep a back in or slide the line and block him with a guard and tackle.
Savory in punt formation. shanked him. It does drag in favor of Louisville. Sterling picks up on it. And Damian Schilling on the return. Good play by him. That ball could have rolled well inside the 30-yard line, but he made the grab near the 35. Got it out to the 40. Coming up, Reese Davis and Coach John Mackovic. Peach Bowl preview. Bowl blitz and hits of the year. I'd like to send along my best to Coach Mackovic. Penalty marker down, by the way, on the far side. Coach Mackovic and I knew each other in a previous life back in his days as head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs when I was broadcasting down there. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the preliminary indication, and it's against Boise State.
Well, after the play had ended, the referee was the one that threw that flag, pointed over towards the Boise State sideline. And this is a huge penalty that'll mark them all the way back to their 25-yard line and take away what would have been very good field position with just over a minute to go.
So 1:03 left to be played in this first half. 2 timeouts left for Louisville, just 1 for Boise State.
You're down by 3 if you're Boise State. You've had so much success moving the ball. I think you got to try and get some first downs. If you do, then you can take some big shots, but you also have to be careful if you're Bart Hendricks. Don't do something to turn this ball over and give Louisville a cheap score right before the half.
Louisville leading by 3. Hendricks, the long throw to the sideline. Jay Swilley's got a first down. 36-yard line, escorted to the far side by Rashad Holman.
That's just what we were talking about, is safe throws. You can pick up 10, 15 yards. Now you get the ball out to the 35-ish, right around there. Now you can start taking a few more risks. Nice route on the outside there by number 1, Swilley. Does a good job creating some separation. Catches the ball, then fights to get out of bounds.
Well, you said safe, not easy. That's not an easy throw for a quarterback, is it?
It's easy if you throw it on time.
Hendricks hit as he pops it over the middle. Pass fell errant, incomplete. Good pass rush pressure up the middle by Mike Gantos.
Wayne, I should say it's easier if you throw it on time.
Yes. People don't realize those sideline routes, especially the deep sideline routes, the quarterback has to throw the ball a long way.
And it's only half the battle. The receiver has got to do a good job of selling the deep route to drive that defensive back off. If not, that defensive back sits on that rake. He can get up there and break that ball up, or worse yet, intercept it.
44 seconds to go in the half. 2nd and 10. Big hole up the middle. This is Brock Dorsey. Inside the 35 of Louisville. Boy, did they cross up the defense there, and a penalty marker thrown late. 32-yard gain. Brock Dorsey. They have sprinkled him into the running game, haven't they? Here's a call coming up. Steve Usek, face mask against Louisville. So they tack a couple of yards onto this one. I believe it was an incidental face mask penalty.
Take a look at right here, Jeremy Minkins. He's the guy that pulls out and opens up this hole as
we apologize for some of the technical difficulties we had out here in Boise a moment ago. Lost our feed back to ESPN2, and we'll have the end of the half in the final 18 seconds coming up. 3rd and 10 for Boise State. Football just inside the 30 at the 28-yard line.
See Dirk Cutter there, the head coach, talking to Bart Hendricks, telling him if it's there, take it, try and improve the field position, but don't turn the ball over. Let's try and at least get 3 out of this and go into halftime tied.
Timeout taken by Louisville. And so each side with 1 timeout remaining. So the Cardinals will chalk it over. And again, halftime coming up with Reese Davis and the coach, John Mackovic. And then we'll be back for the second half of this afternoon's track meet. Louisville on top 24-21 at the moment.
You got a decision to make here. If you're a Louisville and defensive coordinator Chris Smealin, do you try and come after Hendricks? He's been very elusive back there. When you blitzed him, you haven't had a lot of success. But if you can go after him, maybe get him out of field goal range.
Timeout Louisville. And, boy, there's going to be a halftime show here. They've got some big time. Randy, did you order a diet soda of some sort? Because there it is, pal.
That may get me past the second half.
Well, if you take all of that at halftime, I can guarantee you're going to miss part of the fourth quarter.
Somebody's going to be bouncing off the walls.
Yes. Well, John L. Smith, the head coach at Louisville, this is his second Humanitarian Bowl appearance. In the inaugural Humanitarian Bowl, John L.'s Utah State Aggies took on the Cincinnati Bearcats. And Utah State. Steve Smith turned this reception into the most exciting play in Humanitarian Bowl history as he worked his way 75 yards for a touchdown. Back live, 1999. Bart Hendricks on third down. Looking downfield and hit from behind as he let it go incomplete again. It was Gantos raked all over him from behind. It is fourth down now for Boise State and the field goal unit on.
Nice job by Mike Gantos, one of the strongest players on the football team, can bench press 470 pounds, a two-time captain. Louisville didn't have to bring the blitz in order to get to Hendricks that time.
This will be a 45-yard field goal attempt and would equal his longest of the season. He missed a 49-yarder earlier.
One thing, though, today, with the weather being as cold as it is, and Kalaikai standing on the sideline, ball may not travel as far as the last time he made his 45-yarder earlier this season.
14 seconds to go, and the Louisville took a timeout to quote-unquote ice the kicker, which would be no big problem on a day like today with the temperature hovering around 20 degrees. America's Cup Challenge rounds 2000, the Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger semifinals. 6 top boats will advance to the semifinals. Jim Kelly heads our coverage for all the sailing. ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network, go.com. Coverage getting underway on Sunday. As you can see, the valley is pretty much snowless, I should say, but up in the hills there is some snow. Mike Gleason down at the Louisville bench. What do you have for us?
Well, Wayne, a lot of talk on the Louisville bench right now about the fact that they lost to Marshall in the Motor City Bowl last year. They finished 7-5, and right now, of course, they're 7-4. And they're saying there's a big difference between finishing the season at 8-4 and 7-5. If they should lose this football game, they'd be 7-5 again. That's something they definitely don't want to do, Wayne.
Yeah, they feel they want to take that next step, as you mentioned, Mike, and this would be a big a game toward that end. It would be the game toward that end. Kalaikai's kick for 45 yards away comes up short. Randy, going to be tough to get much distance on field goal tries here today in these cool climes.
It's not the wind, but the ball is just very heavy. As you said, it's a heavy cold. Ball doesn't travel as far. We've seen it in the punting game and on a couple of field goal attempts.
So Louisville will take over for the final 9 seconds of this first half with their 3-point lead intact. Take a look at the field goal attempt a moment ago. And
when you talk about the cold affecting the kickers, it also affects the holding and the snap. In that time, pretty good hold. Just didn't quite get enough on the kick.
Redman downs the football for the final play of the first half. But these two teams have entertained to the tunes of 45 points between them. Dirk Cutter and company head off their home field trailing at halftime to the Louisville Cardinals 24-21. A cool afternoon in Boise, and we've got a second half coming up. You won't. Louisville will kick off to start the second half. John Hilbert, good leverage and depth into this kick, carries deep into the end zone, and Boise State will settle for it at the 20-yard line in Bronco territory. John Hilbert got good leverage into that kick, and Bart Hendricks, the junior from Reno, Nevada, just an outstanding first half for him for the most part. This is the third offense he's been in. He was recruited by Pokey Allen, who passed away early in his career. He's also played under Houston Nutt, who was here for 1 year and then went down to Arkansas, and now Dirk Cutter.
And he's just a junior. He's got another year to come back and maybe even get a little bit better.
First down at the 20-yard line. Third time the Broncos have started at their own 20. Hendricks, play action right to the air, right to his wide receiver, Swilly, and the pass play broke it up. Holman had the coverage on the far side.
Wayne, there's one adjustment I think Louisville will make defensively. I think they'll tighten up the coverage by their corners on these wide receivers. They've been given a little too much cushion. It makes it a little too easy a throw by the quarterback. I expect to see Holman number 2, Roundtree number 3, maybe a couple of steps closer. Make Hendricks throw the ball deep, and that's a lower percentage throw.
2nd and 10. Forsey is the lone setback. Brock Forsey met a wall of white jerseys, did get a good push forward for 2 yards out to the 22, or it'll be 3rd down and 8 yards to go for Boise State.
It was unfamiliar territory for the Broncos. They were so good in the first half on 1st down, they didn't face many 3rd down and long, so it's really hard to predict what Louisville's going to do. Do they come with the blitz? Do they play back in the zone? Boise State hadn't seen this very much.
Bart Hendricks, pretty good feet. The Boise State defensive people. Coach Chris Smeelan was talking about the fact that when they do blitz, they've got to stay in their lanes and contain this quarterback. He is fleet of foot. 3rd down. Hendricks lets it go to Forsey. Got a 1st down and a whole lot more. Brock Forsey inside the 30-yard line of Louisville. Well-executed screen. Anthony Floyd brought him down from behind. 50-yard gain.
Sometimes you just guess right, and Boise State picked the right play at the right time. Louisville only coming with 4. You saw the pressure get back there. Hendricks did a nice job of bringing the pressure to him, and watch Forsey follow his block. Nice block right there, and boy, that just opens up. It's a long time before you see a white jersey in that picture.
Brock Forsey had 66 yards rushing in the first half, including a 31-yard run. And this time through the air, he gets a 50-yarder, and here's the handoff. Forsey driving forward up the middle. Brock Forsey with authority down to the 21-yard line. On a gain of 6 yards, Reggie Hargrove made the stop. And got an injured Cardinal down on the field. Courtney Dinkins, the fine safety, shaken up on the play.
He's a signal caller back there, making today his 41st consecutive start, so he brings a lot of experience to that secondary.
Yeah, he would be a major loss in that defensive secondary if he's not able to return. Opening minutes of this second half, John L. Smith, the head coach at Louisville, looking on with concern. As I mentioned, both coaches are from Idaho. John L. was born in Idaho Falls, and Dirk Cutter from Pocatello, Idaho. Got a break in the action. We'll take a timeout. 24-21 Louisville, early going 3rd quarter. Louisville leading 24-21 in the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Along with Randy Wright, Mike Gleason, this is Wayne Larrabee from Bronco Stadium in Boise, Idaho. Yes, on the blue turf. Well, Courtney Dinkins shake it up and watch this here. Lou Finucci coming in to block as a wide receiver.
The defensive backs don't like people around their knees, and coaches tell you, you got to keep your head on a swivel and always be prepared. And that time, Finucci made a nice block.
Boise State trailing by 3. Opening 2 minutes of play in this 3rd quarter. Forsey running hard. Rashad Harris, the linebacker, met him in the hole. Gain of a couple of more yards. It'll be 3rd and short coming up for Boise State.
Louisville, I think, Wayne, needs to start doing something defensively to take Boise State out of their rhythm. They haven't blitzed very much. Their linebackers have stayed in pass coverage more than they've been in the backfield, and that has allowed Hendricks plenty of time to view the field, pick out a receiver, and he's been very effective. I think they need to start changing things up and keep Hendricks guessing.
3rd and 1. Forsey should have the 1st down. He got by Gantos, who made an arm tackle attempt on him in the hole and then slid to his right. It appears he's got the 1st down to the 16-yard line.
Well, Dirk Cutter told us yesterday that he just plays these backs by feel. There's no written formula. There's no predetermined schedule. He just plays them by field. He wants to stick with the hot back, and I think the way this game is going, we're going to see a lot of Brock Forsey in the second half.
Well, Malathon is a physical back. Gavin Reed is the most athletic of the backs, and Brock Forsey, they feel, will be a good one. And again, they felt that Brent Myers told us that this kid had a great preparation for this bowl game, and he's playing a huge role here today. Forsey again. Not a whole lot there. Tough sledding up the middle against that Louisville front. Gain of a yard to the 15, and it's second down and 9.
Wayne, we saw the block on Courtney Dinkins, the free safety for Louisville, a couple of plays ago. He's got a sprained medial collateral and is out for the game. He will not be back.
That is a huge loss in the middle of the secondary for the Louisville Cardinals.
Especially in a game like this where you're playing a team that spreads the ball out so much, you have to get a player without much experience back there. That's the signal caller. He's the one that's got to get their people in the right position.
Curry Burns has replaced Dinkins in the lineup, and Hendricks back to throw, screens it out. Forsey spins off one would-be tackler, but did well just to get back to the 15-yard line. It looked like the Cardinals had a pretty well snuffed out in front of that play. Gantos, Arp, and also Corey Wallace.
Nice play over there. Looked as though there were a lot of white jerseys. Jeremy Collins, one of the Louisville Cardinals over there, though he doesn't make the tackle, makes a hit on the back and prevents him from getting the yardage as the rest of his team, the pursuit, catches up.
So does third down. Third and about 10. Hendricks, the short drop. Pass cradled on the play near the 9-yard line and close to the, well, O'Neal makes the reception. He's about 4 yards short of the first down, and that brings the field goal unit on to try to tie this ball game.
So important when you're throwing timing passing plays, in cuts, out cuts, especially the slants like this. You've got to hit your receiver in stride. You throw the ball behind him, he loses all of his momentum. He's got to stop, and then it's an easy play for the defensive back to come up.
26-yard field goal attempt. Kalayakai. And it is good. So after missing from 40-plus yards twice in the first half, Kalayakai gets the game tied. The opening 5 minutes of the second half.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of the 1999 Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. And by DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Back in Boise, Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason, great to have you with us. Now the Bronco fans are happy at the moment. They've got the game tied finally. A seesaw first half, and Boise State scores the first 3 points of the second half. Kickoff by Brett Thompson. And back with it, Justin Thomas. And it'll be a first down just across the 30-yard line. They've not wanted to go to Zeke Parker since Parker returned 191 yards. But there's Brett Thompson. He's a big old boy. Could play a little defensive tackle for you, I would imagine, and hold the line.
Not your atypical kicker is what you're saying, huh?
First and 10. 33-yard line. Louisville territory, Chris Redman and company. Boy. It was a little overzealousness on that front line by Bradley Phillips. I don't know if he was drawn, but he sure did pour over the line.
Side on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
The first drive of each half, Wayne, is so important. And now Louisville comes out. They've had a chance to sit here and stand on the sideline as Boise State came down and got something out of their first drive. Louisville, with this 5 yards, will have very good field position. See if they can continue the mixture that they had success with in the first half, the running game with Moreau and the passing game. They need to protect Redman better, though. He's been running around for his life back there.
First and 5, Louisville. Moreau, the long setback. Motion from Lavelle Boyd. Frank Moreau met in the hole by Brett Johnson, the linebacker. He storms the hole. All Big West first team selection and the leader of the Bronco defense.
Well, we talked about him earlier. He's only been a linebacker for a couple of years. He was a tight end and a fullback in high school, and that's how he came in. He's led this team in tackles in 97, 98, and again this year.
3 receivers set, slot to the bottom of your screen, Redman to the air under a blitz. Lets it go to Moreau, who bobbled it, dropped it, and kicked it. Incomplete.
It looked like a blown coverage by the Bronco defense, and Redman did a nice job of throwing the ball and hitting Moreau in stride again. The intent to keep him in his rhythm, and yet he just takes his eyes off the ball. You see his head looking upfield before he catches it. You get that ball to him early enough, he would have had plenty of room there to put a move on the defensive backs and maybe turn that into a bigger play.
Louisville 5 of 10 today on third down. A little bit better than their 44% coming into today's game. 5 receivers set. Redman alone in the vacant backfield. Under some pressure over the middle he goes. Lavelle Boyd makes the catch, and Kareem Williams brings him down close to the first down near the 44-yard line. It appears they have picked it up. But that was pretty good recovery by Williams, the linebacker, on a fleet wide receiver.
Well, it was pretty good recovery, but he also has to get around the official. You see the umpire right there. Watch how Boyd goes right underneath him and forces Williams to go around. And when you only need 5 yards, good play.
That's a pick play, isn't it?
Nobody was there to call it, though.
Yeah, well, you know.
Where's that back judge when you need him?
When you employ the arbiters, I guess it's legal. 1st and 10. Moreau got a good block from Ivan Green. Good to see him back on the field. Ridden out of bounds by Shenard Hartz near the midfield marker, a gain of 6. Ivan Green was shaken up, the tight end for Louisville. In the first half, we have not seen him really be a part of the passing game, Randy. I believe they've thrown at him maybe once here today, but he is in there as a blocker right now.
Well, Ivan Green and Lavelle Boyd, neither one of them played a major part in the first half, and they need to get these guys involved. They're the players that have contributed. They need to in the second half.
Here comes Arnold Jackson. A lot of quickness. Johnson rides him down from behind. Johnson, I'll tell you what, he's got some good speed, excellent athlete. Explosive as we've seen with his hits in the hole. He was a Butkus Award nominee earlier this year.
Take a look again. Many teams call this a bubble screen. They just get it out to their receivers quickly as they can. Nice blocking downfield by the wide receivers. You saw Boyd throw a nice block, and Jackson is also dangerous when he gets out in the open field.
It is first down, Louisville at the Boise State 43. Moreau rambling through a hole, splits a couple of defenders, close to the first down to the 34-yard line. Hartz and Dees on the stop, gain of 9.
Jason Padgett is a junior college transfer. Take a look at the hole that opens up right there. Just a quick hitting play. Padgett playing center for the first time, was a tackle, comes off the ball, though, very well and opens up a hole. And when you give Moreau that kind of room that quickly, he gets that momentum going.
Moreau 95 yards on 17 carries so far. Aaron Darczynski, one of the guards. The Louisville guards are a little bit undersized at 260 and 285, but they do have some nice tackles. Anthony Bird almost 300, and Mark Ribna 6'10 and 335 on the flanks. As the man shaken up on the play was Shenard Hartz, the safety, and he heads off under his own power.
And when you talk about that offensive line being a little undersized, they've taken some criticism this year, both guards and the center, Jason Padgett. Although he's the biggest at 295 pounds, but yet this offensive line, the tackles being the best, have produced a 3,000-yard passer and a 1,000-yard rusher. I'd say that's pretty good.
Very good production. Second down. Second down, a little bit less than 2 yards to go. Redman under a blitz gets it away. Ivan Green, the tight end, for a first down. Spinning his way inside the 20-yard line. To the 19, Brian Johnson makes the stop, 15-yard gain.
We talked earlier that Boise State had a lot of success on 3-step drops, getting the arms up, knocking the ball down. That time, didn't get his hands up, didn't get in the way to knock the ball down. It gave Redman the passing lane, and when you get the ball to one of these dangerous receivers on the outside, they're going to pick up yards, and that time got him a first down.
Moreau, the long setback, first down at the 19-yard line of Boise State. Louisville on the drive. Its first offensive possession of the second half. This is Moreau. Into traffic at the 17-yard line, gain of a couple of yards.
So Brian Williams, number 42 for Boise State, stick his head in there and make the tackle. He's really overcome injuries his first 2 years and really come into his own this year for the first time. He's a very athletic playmaker, had an excellent year, only 218 pounds, though, and for a linebacker, that's been pretty small. They've been worried that he's not been able to withstand as games go on, but that time steps up, makes a nice play.
Well, he returned an interception, 44 yards for a touchdown at Idaho, and returned a fumble for a touchdown against Eastern Washington this season. Second down, and Redman needs a timeout. 6:59 left to go, third quarter of it. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason back in Boise. Louisville now, second down and 8 yards to go. They move the football to the 17-yard line of Boise State. Redman waited as long as he could into the end zone and beyond. Lavelle Boyd, the intended receiver. Shenard Hartz has returned to the lineup. And Damian Schilling was also there.
Nice coverage by Damian Schilling. He came off of his man when he saw where Redman was going to throw the ball to deep into the corner. He came off of his man, ran straight to the corner, and was cutting off Lavelle Boyd, so there would have been no chance for that ball to be complete.
Third down. Take a look at this drive. It's been a long one. 50 yards at 9 plays. Taken over 3 minutes. Inside of 7 minutes to go in the third. Blitz coming. They picked it up pretty well. Redman looking around, sidearms it over the middle. Oh, great catch, Lavelle Boyd. First and goal inside the 10-yard line. Redman had to thread the needle, and indeed he did. And Lavelle Boyd able to latch on. McKeish Brooks, who was shaken up, and Shenard Hartz collaborate on the stop. 12-yard gain.
Nice throw by Redman. If you have any questions about his arm strength, they should have been answered right there. He's backpedaling here, throws that ball with all arm right on the money. Lavelle Boyd making a contribution here on this drive, Wayne. They've gotten him involved in this offense.
He must have heard your remarks earlier in this quarter, huh?
Must not have liked them.
No, probably didn't. Louisville spreads the formation. Boyd in motion. Moreau gets the carry, and he's ramped up on the play quickly by Andy Bennett. Andy Bennett, fourth in the Big West in quarterback sacks. That time made a good move against the run and a gain of maybe a half yard. Second and goal to go coming up for Louisville.
Did a nice job of getting underneath the block. Sometimes you expect as an offensive lineman the defensive end to go to the outside for containment. That time Bennett comes underneath, guesses right, and wraps up the back for a nice tackle.
In the red zone today, 50% touchdowns. Play action, Redman on the roll. Intercepted. Damian Schilling out to the 20-yard line. They brought the pressure once again, Randy. Redman running for his life, ill-advised throw into traffic.
I think Redman misread that coverage thinking it was man. It actually was a zone blitz, and Schilling came off of his man and made that catch, but you've got to protect better than this. There you see Schilling is on Parker, but Schilling looks into the backfield. There's the ball, which looks, I believe, is going to Boyd on the out route, and Schilling comes right up, steps in front of him, and makes the interception.
Oh, Randy, they had two receivers at the end of that play right within 5 yards of each other.
Well, I think they did a nice job of disguising that coverage and fooled Redman.
First down, football just short of the 20-yard line. Brock Forsey picks his way, and just a sliver of an opening in the Louisville defense. Rashad Harris, Jeremy Collins collaborate on the stop.
That's a play where you look at the quarterback and he throws the interception, and he's the final say because he doesn't have to throw the ball. But it goes back to the protection, or in that case, the lack of protection. There were 4 blue jerseys in the backfield right as the ball was snapped.
You know what I've been impressed with is the Boise State quickness up front on the line.
Much better than I thought coming into this game for an offensive line that only gave up 20 sacks all year.
Hendricks, little pop fly down the sidelines, well covered by Rashad Holman. And a penalty marker down. Maybe the coverage was too good on Mike Davidson.
That flag came in late, but the back judge was reaching for it earlier, just couldn't quite get the flag out, and I think this may be holding more than interference.
And
it is interference.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe for a moment Davidson may have stepped out of bounds on that route. You know, that could have been the case also, but it's against Louisville.
Well, Holman is their best cover guy, and they have tightened up this coverage here.
On the defense, 15 yards, previous spot, automatic first down.
We talked about Louisville tightening up the coverage a little bit. They've done that. Take a look here and see if we can see the interference. Davison going to the outside. Yeah, boy, I don't know. That's.
I didn't see it.
I think that's pretty good coverage there.
I didn't see it at all. Hendricks rolls. Now steps up. Got a man wide open over the middle. Inside the 30-yard line. It's a first down, and the reception made by Andre Banks. Corey Wallace made the stop, 36-yard gain.
Well, because of the protection, this time we see Hendricks plenty of times steps up to throw. As he does, he brings number 52 Harris up to protect against the run. When your linebacker's got deep pass coverage and he's got to come up fearing the run, it opens up the middle of that. Just the opposite, though, with what we've seen with Redman. Hendricks has all day to throw. He's making the plays. Redman doesn't have hardly any time, and he's not making them.
For the big play category, the biggest surprise of the day. Louisville came in here with a lot of firepower, a lot of big play people. Boise runs into a wave and is hammered down on the play. Boy, they just ran straight into Michael Brown, and he put him away. That kid's a man, you know it?
Yeah. He's only 200 pounds, but he plays much stronger than that. And as a redshirt freshman, as he gets stronger and more mature, he is really going to be a force to be reckoned with.
There's a look at Michael Brown.
Bandit. The way they use that bandit, it's more of a strong safety, middle linebacker combination, and he can do it all. He can cover, and he can blitz.
Loss of 4. Hendricks able to escape, gets it away, and incomplete. Through the hands of the tight ends to Helsky, and the coverage provided on the play by Curry Burns downfield. Otis Floyd got a piece of the quarterback as he was able to get by.
Barnes doing a nice job of just focusing on Stahelski, knowing that that's where the ball was going, and he was going to make the hit. Not going for the pass breakup or the interception at all. Was there just in time, put a nice hit on it.
So it becomes 3rd down.
Last time in this position, Boise State runs the draw to a lot of success. We'll see what they do this time.
They roll the quarterback. Hendricks, his pass off the mark, intended for Jay Swilling, and he absorbed a hit from Antonio Roundtree. That's the kind of play where the wide receiver comes back to the quarterback and says, "Why did you do that to me?"
Well, and that I've been in those shoes many a times, and with the blitz that time, Hendricks saw the blitz coming early, was protected pretty well, and threw a rare bad pass. We've seen Hendricks hit those open receivers all day.
Another 40-plus yard field goal attempt for Nick Kaliakai. This one from 46 yards away. To the uprights, no good. Oh, it's off the crossbar and good. Oh, my. Somehow that stayed in, and Kaliakai had just enough to get it over the crossbar on the hop. Boise State takes the lead.
This is the farthest of his kicks, 46 yards, which is the farthest of his career. And he just kicks this ball much more solid, and it bounces off that upright, goes up, and boy, they didn't know right till the very end. He's seen a couple of those dead straight, but falls short. That one couldn't tell till it bounces off and goes through.
Mike Gleason's got a special guest.
Well, Wayne, over the years, there's been a very impressive list of athletes from the state of Idaho, but last night, Harmon Killebrew and Peekaboo Street were awarded the Athletes of the Century in the state of Idaho. Over 1,700 people voted. Harmon Killebrew, a Hall of Famer with 573 home runs, a Peekaboo Street, the gold medalist, the first American to win the World Cup Series title. Joining me right now, Harmon Killebrew, 573 home runs. That is quite an honor. Athlete of the century in the state of Idaho.
Well, it's very hard for me to believe, Mike. As you said, there were so many great athletes came out of this state for a small state, and so I'm deeply honored.
573 home runs. Ted Williams once said, you were probably the most intelligent hitter he's seen. Most people think of you as being a home run hitter.
Well, coming from Ted Williams, that's a great compliment. He's the greatest hitter I ever saw, probably the greatest hitter of all time.
All right, Harmon, thanks for joining us. Harmon Killebrew, 573 home runs. No one in the American League, Wayne, has hit more home runs except for a guy by the name of Babe Ruth. Up to you.
Thank you much, Mike. Penalty marker late on that play as finally Zeke Parker got an opportunity to return a kickoff. First time he's been able to do that since his 91-yard return. Justin Howell made the stop at the 30-yard line.
Well, Boise State has had the ball for the majority here.
On the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
They've had the ball for the majority here in this second half, Wayne, but they've only got field goals out of it. They haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone. Louisville, after that penalty, still takes over on their 20-yard line, down by just 3.
Louisville, 12 penalties, Randy, 110 yards against.
And you know, a lot of them are foolish penalties. They're not the kind of penalties that affect the play itself. They're the unsportsmanlike. They're the face masks, the needless ones.
Redman and company trailing by 3. Frank Moreau met in the hole and rooted out by the linebacker Kareem Williams. Tell you what, those two linebackers, Johnson and Williams, they are tough little guys, aren't they?
They are fantastic. Neither one of them are very big. Both of them under 225 pounds, but together they've combined this year. 175 tackles, 27 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks.
Frank Moreau is as big as both of those linebackers. He's 6'1" and 225. Redman, Ivan Green made the first man and the second man miss has got the first down. Doesn't appear like Green is moving the way we know he can. He's playing hurt out there this afternoon, but he picked up the first down, 8-yard gain.
And Wayne, the kind of injury that he had, the thigh bruise, that's the thing that tightens up when you're not out there running around. He had a long halftime. It's a cold day, kind of thing I think will continue to tighten up and maybe even get worse as the day gets colder.
3 wide receivers set. Moreau cuts it back. Found some running room, but again, good reaction from the Boise State defense. Mike Gleason, we've been talking about the courage of Ivan Green, and I'll tell you something, he's a tough kid. He overcame some adversity earlier this season, a near tragic mishap that we'll get to as soon as this next play is run as Louisville goes without a huddle. Redman going over the top, got a man out there. Jackson caught it out of play. Arnold Jackson was out of play. Mike?
Yeah, Wayne, he's actually nursing that sore quad, but he's probably lucky to be here. Back in November, they were in Cincinnati getting ready for a game. After the walkthrough, the team went back to the team hotel, and about 8 players got into the elevator. The doors started to close and open, and some of the players started getting off of the elevator. Ivan Green was the last to do so, and the cable snapped, and the elevator plunged down to the basement. They thought maybe he had died or at least severed a limb, and it turned out that he spent the night at the hospital, had 30 stitches. He came back and caught 7 balls for 100 yards. So this guy is one tough cookie, Wayne.
Thank you, Mike. Penalty markers down. Looked like a false start against Louisville. Penalties really adding up on the Cardinals here. False start. No questioning the toughness of Ivan Green. And really, both of these squads, Randy, have been through a lot over the course of their 4 and, in some cases, 5 years on these two campuses. And I got a feeling that's going to make for a pretty dramatic finish to this, the 3rd annual Humanitarian Bowl game.
And I think, Wayne, that's one reason why it means so much to these players. You see Ivan Green playing in his last game. He didn't want to come out even though he's probably not 100%. These programs have both been turned around. Seniors have been through a lot. They want to end with a win.
Redman going over the top, trying to hit Jackson. Arnold Jackson was double covered that time. And the coverage of Damian Bowie and Shenard Hartz bracketed around him. This is the 3rd annual Humanitarian Bowl. A crucial Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. We're at Bronco Stadium in Boise. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us this holiday season, and we wish you all the best for the next millennium coming up.
You can see this Boise State team, Wayne, both offensively and defensively gaining confidence, and this crowd getting more into the game is contributing to that.
Savory in punt formation. Schilling driven back to his 23. Damian Schilling out across the 35-yard line. Boise State will put it in play. 1st and 10 near the 36. National Hockey League night on ESPN. The San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks. Sunday, January 2nd, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Owen Nolan of the Sharks among the league leaders in goals, assists, and points. And Doug Gilmour answers for Chicago. Team looking to get back into the playoff package. ESPN and ABC now the exclusive networks for all NHL action. ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Go.com. 1st and 10, Boise State. Under 2 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Just 3 points scored so far in the 3rd period. Play action. Hendricks under pressure immediately, able to escape. Bart Hendricks, for a while earlier this season, was the best runner for this Boise State team. And he picks up about 4 yards there. Rashad Harris caught up with him. Today, 27 yards on 5 carries. But boy, Randy, what impresses me so much about him is, number one, he has very quick feet. We knew that. But he has a great feel for pressure. It's not just how athletic are you back there, but you have a feel for pressure.
And he runs around not looking to run to gain yards as much as looking to buy some time and then make the big play downfield.
2nd down and 6. Brock Forsey has run hard, and he is close to the 1st down near the 45-yard line. Rashad Harris in the middle of the linebacking core made the stop for Louisville.
One thing I don't think we'll see, Wayne, as this 3rd quarter here comes to an end, I don't think we'll see Boise State go conservative. They were conservative earlier this season. They really struggled offensively. As the receivers grew, Dirk Cutter just made a decision. We're just going to let it all go, and that's where Hendricks really started to develop.
Well, Randy, the turning point was a disappointing loss at North Texas State. And at that point, they decided to turn these kids loose, to open up the offense and just start attacking. They weren't a very good ball control team. They don't have a dominant running back like a Frank Moreau. They are a running back by committee, so to speak. And as they've allowed their wide receivers, you said, to get some experience, they opened up the offense for Bart Hendricks. And believe me, he was the key to making that work.
And he still is. And even though they are playing with the lead right here, I think even if they add to this lead, you're still going to see them attack offensively as well as defensively.
Over the top. Incomplete. Bart Hendricks, good coverage down the right sidelines on Lou Fanucchi. He had Rashad Holman and Corey Wallace with him.
Wayne, this is one of the most difficult throws for a young quarterback to make. And young, I mean in college. When you throw the ball deep, we saw Redman do it earlier when he had Jackson open. He threw the ball out of bounds. Young quarterbacks tend to throw the ball to where the receiver is, and if the receiver doesn't give himself room, he goes out of bounds. You've got to keep the ball on the field. Pick a spot 5 yards inside, throw it there. The receiver's got to get there.
2nd and 10. Sets up a screen, deflected, incomplete. Donovan Arp, the defensive tackle, got a piece of it and blew up that play, forcing 3rd and 10.
Donovan Arp has really been the key to this defense and the success that they've had this year. He comes in as one of the hardest working players. They needed him to help immediately, and he has contributed not only with sacks and tackles for loss, but in the run game. That time, realizes he can't get to Hendricks, puts his arms up there and knocks down the ball with what could have been a successful screen had he not done that.
Arp and Gantos last year were defensive ends. Arp at Snow Junior College in Salt Lake, and Gantos, of course, at Louisville. 3rd down and 10. Hendricks in a tight pocket. Not going to get away this time. Down he goes. Otis Floyd, the defensive end, makes the sack, the first of the day for the Louisville defense, and it forces a punt.
When you talk about them being defensive ends last year, Arp and Gantos, now that they're defensive tackles, they still got that speed, though.
to a close. First 2 quarters, just 6 in the third. Boise State's first punt of the afternoon. Jeff Edwards on in punt formation. Arnold Jackson back deep, chasing it. From the 25. Nice little stop and go move across the 35, out near the 40-yard line. Opening seconds, fourth quarter. Boise State leading Louisville by...
Humanitarian Bowl is presented by Crucial Technology, proud sponsor of the 1999 Humanitarian Bowl, and in part by Selsun Blue Shampoo to help keep your dandruff from sending the wrong signals.
That's a lone mallard out there enjoying the Boise River.
How'd he survive the hunting season?
Beautiful country here in Idaho. First down for Louisville. 40-yard line, Cardinal territory. They're down by 3. Opening minute, fourth quarter. Moreau, not much. Good penetration initially by Bennett. Malloy wrapped him up. Through 3 periods of play here. And there's a look at it.
Well, you look at the total yards, and Boise State is dominating, though they don't control the time of possession. And you feel in watching the game that Boise State has really controlled it. But when you look at the scoreboard, and Louisville 1 play away from taking the lead.
And Louisville has some weapons, to say the least. Out of the shotgun, Redman quickly. Good move made by Parker to make 2 men miss. And then Damon Bowie brings him down to the 46. A gain on that play of 6 yards.
Nice play, though, by Damian Bowie. Watch as he comes up to try and make the hit on Parker. He misses him right there. He goes down. He doesn't stay down, though. He comes back and makes the tackle right there. Knowing that there are a couple of white jerseys in front of Parker to block, it turns out to be a big play.
Third down, about 4. Good move by Green, stumbling his way inside the 40 of Boise State. Down to the 37, Chenard Hartz made the stop, 16-yard gain.
I am impressed, Wayne, with the way all of these Louisville receivers are taught to run after the catch. Whether it's Green, whether it's Jackson or Parker, they catch the ball first, but then they stay on their feet.
But, Randy, in this kind of passing attack, yards after catch means everything, doesn't it?
Well, it has to be when you're throwing their shorter passes, but that doesn't mean it always happens. I have been impressed with their efforts today.
Redman over the middle of El Boyd comes to the 4. Got a first down near the 25-yard line. Ross Ferris, a safety, made the stop. 13-yard gain.
And this is the style of offense Louisville is used to running. They throw a pass to Boyd. They throw a pass to Parker. They throw a pass to Ivan Green. All 3 of them successful. Now they've moved the ball from their own 40 down to the Boise State 26-yard line in just 3 plays.
John L. Smith has had a lot of success in this arena over the course of his career as head coach at Idaho. Cardinals trailing by 3. First down to the 25. Redman short drop, quick throw. Penalty marker is down. Jackson goes down near the 19 on a gain of roughly 6 yards. Dempsey Dees with the coverage.
Penalty flag came out right as the ball was snapped. It may be against Boise State for lining up offsides.
Gets it sorted out.
Illegal formation on the offense. Not enough players on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty.
One of the right receivers should have stepped up onto the line of scrimmage. Thought he was maybe in a different position and wasn't on the line. That's why the play wasn't stopped, but the penalty goes against Louisville.
Attention to detail.
You know, you get into a rhythm. They've had 3 successive pass plays, and now you stop yourself with a penalty.
Here comes the blitz. Good toss. Ivan Green may go inside the 5-yard line. Ivan Green popped wide open. Chenard Hartz ran him down. 28-yard gain to the doorstep of the Broncos.
Generally, when you blitz as much as Boise State has, sooner or later it catches up to you. This time, plenty of cushion between Hart and Green comes across the field, the best place to run away from man-to-man, catches the ball in full stride. He looked pretty healthy there on that play.
Tell you what, little adrenaline do wonders for you, won't it? Two-back set now for Louisville. Hardly ever see this. Moreau to the end zone. Touchdown, and the Cardinals have the lead. Penalty marker thrown, though, on the far side. So hang on. Not so fast.
Offside. On a defense. Penalty decline. Touchdown.
Finally, the penalty not against Louisville, against Boise State. They turn it down. A 3-yard touchdown run will stand.
Well, no surprise when you got Moreau in the backfield with the ball on the 2-yard line that he's going to get it, but a nice job by that offensive line as Moreau didn't have to maneuver much on his own. Offensive line gives him not only the line of scrimmage, but the end zone, and he gets his 18th touchdown of the season.
John Hilbert, point after. Louisville Cardinals, 31. Boise State, 27. Opening 3 minutes, fourth quarter. Frank Moreau over 100 yards and a touchdown. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, and Mike Gleason back in Boise. Let's take a look at the Beck's game summary to this point. We'll have that coming up following the kickoff. We've had 2 excellent performances by quarterbacks here today in this football game. We've seen a lot of yardage and some points on the board as expected. 58 points between them to this point with just over 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Here's the kickoff. Forsey makes the catch at the 2. Out near the 40-yard line, Brock Forsey, outstanding return once again. Jeff Brunelli made the stop at a touchdown saving tackle, 39-yard return. Here is the Beck scheme summary. Take a look at these 2 quarterbacks in action, and we've had a lot of yards in this ball game. Penalties, we've had a lot of those too. Take a look at those are what we expected for the quarterbacks. We expected a lot of yardage and a lot of points in this football game here today. And whichever defense could slow the other's offense enough probably make the difference. We did not expect a defensive battle, nor have we had one. Brock Forsey for about 5 out to the 45-yard line.
Wayne, I think what you just said is really going to come into play here in this fourth quarter. It's still a one-play game, Louisville up by 4, and whichever defense can make a stand or 2 here, I think stands a wonderful chance because both offenses look to at least score some more points if the fourth quarter is going to be any indication of, or if the first 3 are any indication of what's happened in this fourth.
2nd and 5. Motion. Hendricks off play action. Nate Colbert makes the catch on the far side, just short of the first down near the 48-yard line. Michael Brown made the stop. Mike Gleason, what do you have for us?
Well, when you talk about some of the trials and tribulations of these football teams, some of these Broncos have actually played for 4 different coaches. Well-documented story, Pokey Allen, the former Bronco coach, died of cancer. Tom Mason took over for him. He was let go. And then Houston Nutt. He spent 1 year at Boise State before going to Arkansas, and now, of course, Coach Cutter has taken over. So you take a look at Pokey Allen's death and Paul Reyna's death, the freshman we talked about at the top of the broadcast. So these players in the last 4 years have lost 2 people that they care dearly about, Wayne.
And they've overcome a lot. It's not easy. Young people grow up in a hurry under those circumstances. Brock Forsey is growing up before our eyes on the field here today. Picks up a tough first down into Cardinal territory at the 49-yard line.
And Wayne, I think Dirk Cutter has done a nice job of making his team realize it's not enough to just get here. This is their first ever 1A bowl game, and yet they're not satisfied with just getting here by winning their conference. They think they need to win this game.
Bart Hendricks, wide of Jay Swilly. Holman had the coverage on the near side at the Cardinal 40-yard line.
Boy, what a nice fake in the backfield by Hendricks. Good job selling the run to to the left, turns around, has plenty of protection in front of him. Look at that passing lane. Receiver makes a nice cut and just outside of Swilley's reach, but play set up very well, just wasn't executed as well.
2nd down and 10. Three receivers set, 2 backs. Boise.
Biggest day of his career. Inside the 25 of the 23-yard line, it is 1st down. Corey Burns forced him out, 26-yard gain.
Nice run by Boise, but take a look at number 52, Rashard Harris. Right there, he's got him in his sights, and he just can't make contact with him, and then he runs right by Antonio Roundtree. The cornerback breaks that tackle and turns what could have been a small gain into a huge gain. See the career high, 121 yards. That's just rushing. He's had some big plays in the passing game as well.
Offensive coordinator Brent Myers wasn't kidding when he thought this kid would play a big role here today. Hendricks trying to drill it into Stachowski. It's incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Nice throw, though, by Hendricks. Wasn't complete. Pretty good coverage, though, by Curry Burns. And Hendricks had to throw the ball low and away and count on Stachowski to go down and make a super catch. Either way, though, it wasn't going to be intercepted.
Burns playing in place of the injured Courtney Dinkins, who went out in the 3rd quarter with a strained knee, we're told. Second down. Boise picks his way. Sometimes the hole isn't where the play designed said it would be, and you have to read it and cut it back, and he did a nice job there to pick up 3 yards to the 20-yard line.
Dwayne, that's the hardest thing to teach a young back is that vision. That you talk about the feel in the pocket for a quarterback. Young running backs have to have excellent vision. The speed of the college game is so much different than the high school game, which they're used to. Sometimes they see someone and closes in a hurry. I agree with you, though. Boise seems to have a nice knack for feeling that.
Coming up on 10 minutes ago in the game, Boise State down by 4. They've driven to the Cardinal 20. Hendricks on the slant. Nicely done. Finucchi's got a 1st down near the 11-yard line of Louisville. Well-executed play.
Nice throw. Earlier in the game, we saw Boise State down on the 10-yard line. Threw a slant pass behind his receiver, Brian O'Neill. This time, same play, different receiver. Leads Finucchi, hits him in stride, gets him the 1st down.
Football marked at the 12-yard line of Louisville. Boise State on the drive. Bart Hendricks. Play action, rolls right. Typical West Coast play, finds the tight end. Misdirection rollout. Everybody going one way, the quarterback rolls the other way. He does not have a blocker in front of him, but that time he found Colbert, the tight end.
Defensively, you usually have bigger players, linebackers in here to stop the run. It's harder for those linebackers to catch up with the quarterback or cover a tight end. Now you've got 2nd down and 3 from the 5-yard line. This is where Bart Hendricks and that option becomes so dangerous for Boise State.
He scored on an option play earlier today. Pretty good numbers for Hendricks, to say the least. Blitz coming.
Marathon touchdown. Just a great call against that defense.
You can see the defensive pressure coming from the outside. Louisville was thinking run to the outside, whether it be bootleg or option. Dirk Cutter changed things up. Wonderful hole that time from Malathong to get in there.
So Boise State answers the Louisville touchdown with one of their own to recapture the lead. Kalayakai has it through the uprights. Davey Malathon has been quiet here this afternoon, the leading rusher for Boise State, but he is heard from on this 5-yard run to the lead for Boise State. Sun Valley Ski Resort, located just 2 hours north of Boise, the oldest ski resort in the nation. This is where the ski lift was invented, And it's located in the northern Rockies. And I tell you what, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous state. And a great place to go skiing. Boise State has taken the lead, 34-31, 9:28 left to go in this one. Plenty of time for much more scoring.
And I'm sure we'll see much more as the defenses have showed up sparingly today. Take a look here at the touchdown. The run goes to the left, but it's really the backside block right there. Number 79, Keith Dilworth. He seals that backside and gives Malathong a lane to cut back. Beautiful backside block.
They've been trying to kick away from Zeke Parker. One of his returns went 91 yards for a score earlier today. So the upbacks have handled the football a little bit more than expected. Brett Thompson trying to place it. High end over end kick floating toward the near side. Parker from the 20. Dancing to the 30. Sideline to the 40. Out of bounds near the 45. So it'll be first down coming up for Louisville. They're going to mark it near the 43. First and 10, 26-yard return by Zeke Parker. Chris Redman, last second instructions from Scott Linehan.
You put so much pressure on your defense, facing an offense as explosive as Louisville is, when you give them field position through their special teams over the 40-yard line time and time again.
Hit as he throws, but Ivan Green wide open. They've been a combination since the 8th grade. Chris Redman to Ivan Green. 20-yard gain, first down.
I mean, the difference in this half versus the first half, when Boise State was blitzing, they're getting to Redman. This time, Shinar Hutz comes off the corner, doesn't get there. It's tough to stay with these receivers man to man when you're blitzing. If you don't get pressure on the quarterback, Redman's had more time.
Crucial.com, Humanitarian Bowl, Bronco Stadium, Boise, Idaho. Good to have you with us. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Mike Gleason on the blue turf of Bronco Stadium. No, that's not a problem with your television screen. Blue turf. Ivan Green has come to the fore here in the second half. 6 catches, 97 yards for the game. He had only 1 catch for 10 yards at halftime. Got a timeout on the field. 9:13 left to go in this one. Boise State. First down, football to the 35. 5 receivers set for Redman. Snap through his hands. Redman able to fall on it, but back near the midfield marker. Brian Johnson got there for the Broncos to wrap him up. 16-yard loss. Boy, that was huge.
And it's been a problem all day as Redman has been back in the shotgun, fielding bad snaps throughout the day. This time, not as bad as some of the snaps have been. Redman just doesn't watch it all the way into his hands, and it goes right between his knees. Redman, the only Louisville Cardinal back there that could fall on that ball, grabs it, and even though it was a 16-yard loss, it's only second down now. They've got 3 downs if they choose to pick it up.
Redman stumbled as he went back. Frank Moreau. Undercut move by Shenard Hart. Brings him down to the 38-yard line. Gain of 11 yards.
Nice choice by Redman to dump the ball out to Moreau, knowing he'd have plenty of room going against the zone defense. Don't try and get it all on that play. They picked up quite a bit. Now it's only 3rd and 14. And if they choose, even if they don't get the first down, they could be in field goal range.
3rd and 14. The Boise fans come to their feet. Redman cool in the pocket, high on the pass. Intended for Lavelle Boyd, who wanted a pass interference penalty. McKeish Brooks had the coverage downfield, along with the linebacker Kareem Williams in the vicinity. And it's 4th down for Redman and company.
Wayne, I think Lavelle Boyd has got a legitimate argument there. That is a deep crossing route, clearly with contact made earlier. And with some of these interference calls we've seen, this could have been another one. You see the contract not as well from that angle, but I think Boyd's got a legitimate right.
That incompletion into the streak of 6 straight completions for Redman. He's
facing fourth down at about 13. And a timeout taken by Louisville. 7:46. When last we talked, Louisville was going to go for it on fourth down. They changed their mind. Chris Savory on in punt formation to try to pin the Broncos deep. Gets a low snap. Just did get that kick away. Schilling mucks it and gets it back near the 14-yard line.
Wayne, I think that's a good decision to punt there. You're only down by 3. You only have the one timeout left. You punt the ball. You try and come up with a defensive stop, and knowing you only need a field goal, you're still in the game. You don't make it, you give Boise State field position at the 40-yard line. I think that's a good call to punt that.
Well, this Boise crowd has really come to the fore in the fourth quarter, and Coach Dirk Cutter mentioned that his players were responsible for keeping the home forces, the crowd, in the game.
And people from outside this area will be surprised at how loud this stadium is, and the crowd will definitely play in our favor as long as we give them something to cheer about. And our players know that that's their responsibility, to get the crowd in the game and also to keep the crowd in.
First down, football just short of the 15-yard line. Brock Forsey has run hard all day. This time out near the 20-yard line on a gain of almost 6 yards. Rashad Harris, the linebacker, responded for Louisville. This is a new record here for Boise State. Today, 501 yards of offense, a bowl game record. Forsey, 130 of those yards on 18 carries. Second down. Forsey again. First down to the 26-yard line. Michael Brown made the stop, and they are starting to open up and gash this Louisville defensive front seven.
Forsey running right over the middle of his line. The center, Scott Huff and Jeremy Mankins. Watch the cut right there. Almost a full-speed cut. Goes right by the linebacker Harris, and when you can make cuts going full speed like that, you're going to be falling forward. Give yourself the first down.
Take a look at the timeout situation. Just one now for Louisville. Boise State, all 3 of theirs in the second half. First down. Forsey picks the right hole again. Close to the first down. My, has he run well here today. Corey Wallace made the stop. Here's something we didn't expect from Boise State, and that was this kind of a potent running attack, Randy. But what a time to run the football. Leading by 3 with just over 6 minutes to go in the game.
And the defense knows you're going to try and take some time off the clock. Figures you're going to be running it. Louisville's been in good position the last couple of plays, so they've just missed some tackles.
That was the problem. John L. Smith outlined to Mike Gleason at halftime that he wanted to see better tackling from his defense.
If you're quicker than the other team, you get in position faster, but you still got to make the tackle.
First down to the 37. Forsey, the spin move. Got him about 3 yards. Michael Brown was there. 2nd and 7 coming up. Under 6 minutes to go in the game, and Boise State trying to protect a 3-point lead.
Not as though Forsey has not had any work this year, even though he's a redshirt freshman. He came in with 75 carries to his credit, so it's not as though this is totally unfamiliar territory to him, though he hadn't had the kind of success throughout, coming in with only 313 yards on the ground.
He rushed for 91 yards, Randy, in the win over Eastern Michigan much earlier this season, but today he is primed. 2nd and 7. Again, number 36, Brock Forsey moves the pile and drives it to the 42, a gain of a couple of yards, leaving a 3rd down and 5 yards to go coming up for Boise State.
Clearly, this would ordinarily be a passing down for Boise State, but you could argue that on every play. Now it looks as though they may slow things down a little bit as Hendricks is going over to the sideline, gets the plays, comes in, want to take as much time off the clock as they can. Wouldn't be surprised to see him put it up in the air right here, though. First down, more important to keep control of that ball.
Time winding down on the play clock. There it is in the left-hand corner of your screen. The naked bootleg rollout. Got the tight end, Dave Sahelski. This drive will continue to the midfield marker. Curry Burns made the stop on the play. 8-yard gain.
Such a dangerous play when you've got a quarterback that moves like Hendricks and a tight end like Sahelski that can run after the catch. When you're trying to cover a man-to-man with a free safety, you've got to come up and cover him in much tighter coverage. When you only need 5 yards, you can't be off 8. John L. Smith realizes now he's got to start taking some chances on defense. He's got to force something to happen.
Coming up on 4 minutes to go in this one. Double tights on the line for Boise State. They move the fullback, Shea Swan, and go that way with Brock Forsey. And Forsey is hammered down to the play by Devon Thomas, who came like a missile to knock him down.
Nice play by Thomas. A very enthusiastic, got good speed, hadn't played a lot this year because of injury, but he started last year as just an 18-year-old, a younger player, started this season and was only 18 years old, grown up a little bit as the season has gone on, and they think he will be a heck of a player next year and the years to come.
Louisville finished 79th in the nation in rush defense, giving up 166.5 yards a game, and it shows here today. Hendricks able to get away and pick up some yardage down near the 47-yard line. A gain of 3 on that play. Justin Thomas made the stop. Boy, got to be very, very frustrating for these Louisville rushers. Timeout is taken on the field. 3. Third down coming up here, about 7 yards to go. 47-yard line. Cardinal territory. The Louisville defense needs a stop. 3 minutes left to go in the football game. Louisville has just 1 timeout remaining. Third down call here for Hendricks. Hendricks rolls it. Takes it himself. Not going to get there. Able to reach it to the 45-yard line. Holman put him away in the end. So it'll be 4th down for Boise State.
Nice job by Jeremy Collins, number 53, coming over to make the hit. Here you see Hendricks goes back. He gets out of that pocket awfully quick. Didn't have to get out of there. And watch the hit right there coming on by Jeremy Collins. Hendricks keeps going. And you can't withstand many of those hits.
Takes a hit and keeps on licking, huh?
He's glad it's 4th down now. He's sitting over there on the side.
Jeff Edwards in punt formation. Hangs it up high. And did they keep it in play? Yes, they did. First down, Louisville inside the 1. Or is it?
I think we're going to see the Bronco that came into the end zone and out of the end zone. I thought that was the same one that caught the ball, which would be a touchback, but maybe it was another one that got it because they're going to mark it there at the 1-yard line.
If Louisville is to get the lead and win this football game, with 1:51 to go and 1 timeout remaining, they'll have to go 99 yards.
Take a look at 87 Davison. He's in the end zone, and he's the one that comes out and touches the ball. If you go into the end zone and break that plane, you're not supposed to be able to come back out.
First down for Louisville. Moreau to the sidelines, out of bounds to the 5 and a gain of 4. Hartz, the safety, came up to make the hit.
Well, is there any better way for Chris Redman to end his career? 1:46 left in a wonderful career, knowing they need a field goal to tie, 99 yards to go.
Redman from his end zone. Arnold Jackson cut down. Kareem Williams got enough of them to trip him up across the 10. At the 11-yard line, should be enough for the first down, depending on the spot of the ball.
Keep in mind, even though Louisville only has 1 timeout left, with the clock stopping at every first down, it will at least give Louisville a chance to gather themselves, get to the line of scrimmage, and call a play. Shouldn't really affect Boise State, though, because the way they know huddle on defense, that's their normal routine. Plays are signaled in. They can change their plays, call their signals, so they don't even have to worry about being in the no huddle. They always are.
Just in case they get into field goal range. John Hilbert wants to be ready. Louisville first down at the 11-yard line. Cardinal territory. 1:40 remaining in the game. Boise State by 3. Once again, just one timeout left for Louisville. A low snap. Redman. Arnold Jackson. Out to the 20-yard line. A gain of 9. It'll be a 2nd and 2 coming up. Sasser made the stop for Boise State.
Boise State will be more than content to let Louisville catch the shorter pass plays, playing a soft zone, keeping the receivers in front of them, and only pick up 6 or 7, 8 yards at a crack with just over 1:20 to go.
Arnold and Boyd at the top of your screen. Redman looking the other way. Intended for Ivan Green, the pass overthrown. Green underneath the coverage of the defensive lineman Mike Malloy. And it'll be a 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 1 for Louisville.
Well, you want to get as many yards as you can, as quickly as you can, but you do need the first down. So 3rd and 1, if Louisville decides to run the ball here, clock would stop with the first down, but then they got to get right back to the line.
Of course, you're in 4-down territory from here on out.
Absolutely.
3rd and 1. Redman looking to make a play. Takes it on his own and dives across the 20-yard line to get the first down near the 23. Dove underneath the tackle attempt of Brian Johnson, the linebacker. First down for Louisville with 64 seconds remaining in the game.
At this point, Wayne, now they've got a little cushion from their own goal line. They need to open things up more, start throwing the ball 12, 15, 18 yards downfield and get yardage in bigger chunks.
Under a minute remaining. Out of the shotgun. Redman floats it over the middle. Intercepted by Kareem Williams. Football is a game of emotion. A very distinct emotion.
Well, we've seen Redman under pressure all day. He sees the blitz coming right up the middle, stands in there as long as he can. It's that zone blitz where Boise State can draw back. Williams can read the quarterback the whole way. A nice call and executed perfectly.
The emotion of Boise State. 32 seconds away, time winding down. And a Humanitarian Bowl victory, and of course the tremendous disappointment. The emotional letdown on the Louisville sideline. Final 16 seconds. Louisville is not going to stop the clock. They have one timeout remaining, and that is it. Congratulations to Dirk Cutter and the Boise State Broncos, champions of the Crucial.com Humanitarian Bowl. Final score from Boise. The Broncos 34, the Cardinals 31. We'll be right back to wrap things up from the beautiful foothills of Boise, Idaho, after these messages. Wins the Humanitarian Bowl 34-31, and in the middle of all that bedlam is Mike Gleason. Mike?
Thanks a lot, Wayne. With me, a very happy head coach, Dirk Cutter, and your feelings on the game. I thought whoever had the football last was going to win the football game. It was one of those shootouts.
No, it was a great game. You know, we didn't do a very good job of punching it in. We had a lot of chances to put this game away. I thought our defense did a great job catching on after the first quarter, but great win for the Broncos. Great day to be a Bronco.
You win your conference championship. What a win like this, what does it do for your program?
Well, I hope you had a lot of viewers on ESPN2 today. That'll do a lot for our program.
You wanted to reroute some of the receivers. You didn't think you'd really get too many interceptions on Chris Redman, but you kept him off balance and got a couple of big picks.
Our zone blitz hurt him. I mean, we got to him a little bit, and Well, hats off to our defensive coaches and defensive players. You know, we've been making a lot of plays, and we made the plays when we had to again today.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Dirk Cutter, the head coach of the Broncos. It was a wild one, 34-31. Let's go back upstairs with Wayne and Randy.
It sure was a wild one, Mike Leeson. 936 yards and 65 points between these two teams here this afternoon. And we saw an exciting game as we expected. 34-31. Boise defeats the University of Louisville. Coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, the NFL Tonight with Mark Malone. Now for Randy Wright, Mike Leeson. This is Wayne Larrabee. Special thanks to our statistician, Jeff Nelson. As college football's second century comes to a close, we'd like to reflect back on some of the most memorable and compelling images of the last 100 years of college football.
We're going inside them. We're going outside them. Inside them, outside them.